House of Representatives Committee on Co-ops Development is called to order. May I request our dear Secretary of the committee, Attorney Orsal, to lead us the prayer.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Let us put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. Heavenly Father, we come to you today to ask for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this activity. Help us to engage in meaningful exchanges of ideas. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace, Lord, as we make this activity worthwhile for the co-op sector, the member cooperators, respective cooperatives, and please continue to remind us that all we do here today, all that we accomplish is for the improvement and advancement of the cooperative sector and the communities that we serve, for the greater glory of you and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. Hello, good morning ulit. Happy Cooperative Month. For this is the month of October. We are very happy to commemorate this Cooperative Month all over the country. Mamaya, we would like to listen words of solidarity messages from the members of this committee. So we proceed. May I ask my colleague in this committee for a motion to dispense with the roll call. Partner?
I move, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, thank you so much. Congressman Sergio Dagoog of EPIC Party List. A motion to dispense with the roll call. There is a second, no objection. The motion is approved. Another motion to approve the minutes of the meeting held on September 3, 2020. Any motion? Any motion for to approve the minutes that we had of our meeting on September 3, 2020? Yeah? Partner, unmute mo. Honorable Ibkas.
Mr. Chair, I move that our minutes dated last September 3 be approved.
There's a motion. No objection. The motion is approved. May I ask for a motion to dispense with the reading of okay, it's already approved, no? So before we acknowledge the members and other resource persons, I would like to greet one another. Happy Cooperative Month. So this time, may I request my colleague in this committee, because all of them are very supportive of the cooperative movement, cooperative sector. Sino po ang mauna para sa kanilang warm greetings and solidarity messages to all the 133 na nakalagin. May I request po, Honorable Sergio Dagoog, for your message, kasi tayo din ay naka-live sa Facebook. Live stream po tayo sa, I think, sa activity. Okay? For your message to all the cooperative in the whole Philippines.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone, especially from the leaders from the cooperative sector. This representation would like to convey my strong support to the different types of cooperative in the country. Through this committee, we will be helping the sector in whatever legislative measures that can help strengthen the cooperative movement of the country towards the achievement and goal of cooperativism, which is to ease out poverty, particularly in the rural areas. With that, I would like to greet everyone. Happy Cooperative Month. Mabuhay ang cooperative movement sa Pilipinas. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat.
Thank you so much. From EPIC Party List, Honorable Sirio Dago.
Chairman.
I think the next to give this message to us, our very active Vice Chairperson of this committee, coming from the island paradise of Camiguin, from Ako Padayon, Filipino Party List. Vice Chair, Honorable Kong Adriano Ibcas. Kong?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good morning to everyone on this Zoom meeting. On behalf of Ako Padayon Filipino Party List, yours truly would like to express my thanks and gratitude from my innermost chamber of my heart to all of you, to all members of the cooperative who are the pillars of our country. Although of our group is vital to the community, but I believe that on this pandemic, on this trial, will face our challenge in order to make us strong. Again, we will not work differently, but rather we will work as one. So my strong support to all of you and happy Cooperative Month. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Adrian Ibcas, our very supportive and active Vice Chairperson of this committee. We would like to call if nandito na po. Yeah, my very good friend, and I think we have to congratulate him because he was elected as the new chairman of the Committee on Economic Affairs, if I am right. May I request to give this message from the province of Aklan, Congressman Honorable Ted Harisco. Kong, good morning. I think hindi pa nakalag-in, no? Yeah, dito na. May I acknowledge again, very supportive of the cooperatives, Honorable Harisco, for his opening statement and message for this cooperative month. Kong, unmute mo, Kong. Hello. May technical problem pa? Ano? Okay. Nakalagin na po si Kong Ted. Kaso lang, baka mayroong technical problem. Anyway, balikan ko lang siya. Dito pa rin, dito ang nakalagin office of Kong GP Padernos. Hello, partner, are you in? Hello? Attorney, Mariel, sino pa ba?
Yung office po ni Kong VG Lacson,
Yeah,
yung staff lang yata, sir. Wala si Kong
wala pa. Okay.
Lacson. Opo.
Okay. So, while waiting for them, maayos yung technical difficulty, may I request our secretary to acknowledge yung mga resource persons for today's meeting. Attorney, please proceed.
Yes, sir. There are three items in the agenda, sir. The first item in the agenda is the response of the Land Bank of the Philippines. We have with us today President and CEO Cecilia Borromeo, together with First Vice
Nakalagay na po ba? Can we ask Land Bank President, Ma'am Borromeo? Ma'am, good morning.
Sir, they're supposed to log in only at 10 o'clock, sir.
10 o'clock pa ba siya?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sige, wala pa. Ma'am, before we proceed, nakita ko sa screen, our Vice Chairperson from Samar, Congressman John Ong. Hello, Kong. Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Chair.
May I request, no, Kong, if you are already okay, your opening message and your cooperative greetings for this cooperative month. May I request, Kong Ong?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Kung pwede lang, hindi lang cooperative month, cooperative year. Anyway, it has always been my belief, no, not only belief, but my conviction that we really need cooperatives to to improve the lot of our people. Just by the word cooperative, ibig sabihin cooperation ng lahat for mutual benefit. So we really have to support, all-out support to our cooperatives. Because if we will only implement properly the purpose and objectives of a cooperative, I don't see any reason why we should not achieve the goal of uplifting the poverty of our country. And I think it really lies on the movement, the cooperative movement, as long as we strictly follow the goal and purpose of a real cooperative. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, thank you so much of your message of support for the cooperatives all over the country from Northern Samar. Am I right, Kong? Northern Samar ba?
Northern Samar, yes.
Yeah. I think may malaki tayong co-op doon. Doon sa Northern Samar. So, thank you for that. Okay? Can we go back to our Attorney Mariel to acknowledge our resource persons?
Sir, yes. Together with President CEO Cecilia Borromeo, she will have with her First Vice President Emily Tamayo, First Vice President Elcid Pangilinan, and AVP Domingo Galsim. For the CDA, we will have Chairman Orlando Ravanera and Deputy and Executive Director Ray Elevaso. We have there the third item, the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Sir, they have not yet submitted their draft assigned by Commissioner Dulay, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for that. Can you acknowledge the cooperative leaders, the members coming from the cooperative sector who have logged in na nandito po? Do you have a copy o sino pong nakalagin ngayon?
No, sir, just just what we have on the monitor, sir.
Okay. Nakakilala po ba sila?
Good morning. R9 BMC is logging in.
Okay. Sige. Thank you. Pasensya na po kasi wala pong record yung secretary natin. Kunin na lang namin based on the screen, no? So, can we request yung mga cooperative leaders na i-open yung video para makuha natin ang inyong photo, ma-record po natin in attendance kasi hindi po natin nakuha na record ng secretary. Ma'am, we would like also to acknowledge nandito rin ang staff ni Majority Leader. Tama po, ma'am? At saka yung staff ni Deputy Speaker Rani Abo. At saka yung staff ni Kong GP Padernos at staff ni Kong BJ Lacson. Okay? So can we go back to Kong Ted Harisco? Kung okay na po siya. Kong, are you now okay? Your signal for your opening statement and solidarity message. Kanina nag-okay na po yun. Wala pa. Kong Harisco? Wala. Okay. We would like to take note for the record that based on the rules of the House of Representatives, the committees are allowed to conduct hearings even when Congress is in break or recess, provided we have the approval from the House. So we ask the permission from our speaker. So thank you so much, Speaker Lord Alan Velasco. for allowing this meeting. And of course, from the majority leader, thank you so much, Majority Leader Congressman Martin Romualdez. So we thank our leaders in Congress for continuously supporting this Committee on Cooperatives Development. So hindi ko na babanggitin ang lahat ng mga cooperative leaders na nakalagin, but I would like to thank all of those na nandito po. We are 163. So your presence are all important. Your presence makes sense this meeting. So because of you, we are on this. So thank you so much. So I would like to request that we follow the internal rules. One is to please maintain the system. Mute mo na if you are not acknowledged. Ikalawa, please identify yourself if you are being recognized. Tapos you have only a limit of 2 to 3 minutes if you are requested to speak on the issue. Okay? So because wala pa po ditong land bank, ma'am, wala pa bang land bank? Wala pa? Hello? Ang land bank, nandito na po ba? Wala pa. Sige. Wala pa rin ang BIR. So we have only 3 items on the agenda. So we proceed first who is available. Is it okay with my colleague in this committee? Kasi wala po yung land bank, wala pa yung BIR. Can we proceed to the third, which is the CDA? Partners? Kong, okay ba? Proceed tayo sa CDA.
Chairman, for me, I have no problem with that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, I have no problem with that also, Mr. Chair.
May we now request the opening statement from the CDA. The topic is on the presentation of the IRR. So, may I acknowledge, nandito po ba si Yusek, Undersecretary, the Chairperson of CDA, Orland Rabanera, for the opening statement as regards to this issue. Yusek, sir? Nandito ba ma'am o wala?
Sir, I have not seen him yet, but we have
Okay.
we have CDA Director Attorney Eric Robles.
Okay.
I believe Executive Director Ray Elibaso is present.
Can we call Sir Executive, ano bang title niya ngayon? Administrator ba? Please, Sir Ray Elibaso.
Yes, sir. Good morning po, Chairman, Congressman Kanama. Thank you to Attorney Eric and Attorney Mariel. Attorney Eric, good morning. And to all members of the committee, pleasant morning to everyone, to our congressmen from the Committee on Cooperatives, and to all of you. Sir, we are happy to report to you that the National Printing Office has already issued a certificate of publication dated October 12, 2020, and saying that the implementing rules and regulations of Republic Act number 11364, otherwise known as the Cooperative Development Charter of 2019, was published in the Official Gazette to wit, volume 116, number 41, pages 6,457 to 92, date of issue is October 12, 2020. So today, we are announcing that it is already effective beginning today, sir. So later on, I will be assisted by Attorney Eric to discuss several points of the implementing rules and regulations. Good morning po to everyone.
Okay, sige. Binanggit mo pa si Attorney Eric. Sir, yung opening statement rin.
Okay, good morning to everyone. Happy Cooperative Month to every cooperatives in the Philippines. we would like to thank the Honorable Congressman Kanama for inviting us to this committee meeting or hearing to discuss the implementing rules and regulations of the Republic Act 11364. And we were happy to announce that we already published the IRR. So anytime soon, we will be going to schedule a roadshow for the presentation of the final IRR. And I hope that the cooperative will going to help us implement the implementing rules and regulations so that it will be have a more harmonious and more responsive cooperative to address all the challenges we are facing now here in our country. So mabuhay ang mga kooperatiba sa buong Pilipinas, mabuhay po tayong lahat. I think Kong Kanama, ASEC Vidal Villanueva is also present.
Okay. May I recognize Assistant Secretary Vidal Villanueva? I think he is assigned po sa Financial Cluster. ASEC, your opening statement. ASEC Vidal? Wala pa. Okay. Anyway, sir, this is the procedure. We will allow from the sector to have some comments or inquiry. Then we will allow you to respond. No. So we call from the PCC to give their opening statement. Then we'll start the forum. Anybody from the PCC?
Mr. Chair, Sir Chair Gary is inside the room, Kong Ben.
Yeah. May I recognize the PCC chairperson, Sir Gary Leonardo.
Thank you, Kong Ben, and good morning, everyone. Before anything else, in behalf of the Philippine Cooperative Center, I wish to thank you for inviting us to this meeting. And we are looking forward to a very productive and fruitful meeting ahead of us. As regards the implementing rules and regulations relating to RA 11364, the cooperative sector's wish is that the letter and intent of the law will be fulfilled. No? We do recognize that CDA is primarily responsible for the development as well as the regulation of cooperatives. But it may also be worthwhile to note that Section 2 on Declaration of Policy also states that this will be through partnership with the cooperative sector and the academe. And this is specifically one thing that we are looking forward to coming out of this meeting, Kong Ben.
Okay.
Muli ay maraming salamat sa inyong pag-anyaya.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Can we i-ask, mayroon naman kopya yung mga members sa committee? Sir CDA, pwede nyo bigyan kami, si Kong Dagook, si Kong, lahat-lahat po kami, si Kong Ibka, si Kong Ong. Mayroon ba silang kopya para mayroon silang solid na knowledge dito sa, meron na po ako. Kung Ibkas, meron ka na.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Dito po yung best friend ko sa minority. Yes, sir. May I acknowledge our minority leader from Bacolod, Kong Stephen Paduano. Yes, boss.
Thank you.
Very much welcome. Happy kami na dito ka.
Point of inquiry, Mr. Chairman. Supposedly, members of this committee should have been furnished much earlier so that we can have an ample time to study about the new IRR for CDA. Now, Mr. Chairman, in absence of that, because I don't have a copy about it of the IRR, may we request na lang, Mr. Chairman, the representative from CDA or the group or persons involved in crafting this IRR to present to this committee the highlights of this IRR, Mr. Chairman, so that we can ask questions or clarification on the presentation of DCDA of its new IRR. But nevertheless, Mr. Chairman, let me again remind each and everyone that members of this committee and all other committees should be furnished in advance of a copy in each and every committee hearing that we are holding, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, thank you so much, partner. Am I authorized to announce your new position? Is it in order if I will now congratulate you, my very good partner from Bacolod? Nakita ko po sa icon, ikaw na po yung bagong minority leader
Thank
sa
you,
House
Mr.
of
Chairman.
Representatives.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Though I was
Congratulations.
It has not been in the journal, Mr. Chairman, but of course, last Monday, October 19, I was elected unanimously by all members of the minority. As
Very good.
being the
Thank
new
you so much. So,
thank you, Mr. Chairman.
yun ang breaking news natin sa House of Representatives. Nag-resign na po si then Minority Leader Bishop Abante. So, nag-elect na po ang bagong minority group. Ang kanila pong napili unanimously as the new Minority Leader of the House of Representatives sa 18th Congress. Ito po, kasama natin ngayon. Very supportive po sa mga kooperatiba. Congressman Stephen Paduano sa Abang Lingkod Party List. Congratulations, Kong. Kasi palagi ka naman nag-attend dito and we are very happy na ikaw na po yung bagong minority leader. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And rest assured, Mr. Chairman, that the new minority bloc in the House will push and fully support the initiative of all, whether small, medium, and large cooperative in the whole country, being one of those advocates of mine since my first term, that was during the 16th Congress. We have to push for the strengthening and enhancement of co-ops, especially in times of pandemic, Mr. Chairman. And lastly, Mr. Chairman, I would like to congratulate each and every member, officers of cooperatives in the whole country, from the power sector down to the basic sectors of cooperatives in the whole country, Mr. Chairman. With that, Mr. Chairman, I would like to congratulate also you as the chairman of this Cooperative Development Committee in the House for shepherding us, the whole cooperative sector movement in the country, Mr. Chairman. And hopefully today we will have a fruitful discussion about the new IRR for CDA and the issues concerning land bank and all other issues concerning the co-ops for today, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning.
Thank you so much. We are very glad, our new minority leader, that you have attended this meeting, although palagi ka namang nag-attend dito, and we are very thankful that you have already expressed your support for the cooperative movement and to this committee. Thank you so much. Again, congratulations, and we in the party list na galing po sa ating group. I think this is the first time na yung minority leader galing po sa grupo ng mga party list. Okay? So, there is a motion by our minority leader that because of the lack of copy, wala pa tayong kopya ang lahat ng members. We just allow the CDA to present the highlight. Is it okay with my colleagues in the committee? We just allow the CDA to present the highlights.
Second the motion, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So the motion is approved. Can we give 5 minutes? Yung highlights lang, yung alam naman ninyo CDA, ano ang mga medyo gusto nating malaman. After that, we will have an open forum. Okay, CDA, yung pinaka-highlights lang. Sino ang mag-present? Si Sir Elibaso ba?
Okay, good morning again.
Yes, si Attorney Roble.
Okay. I would like to apologize if we were not able to provide you a copy. We just received the invitation for this forum yesterday, and we were not able to send it to the concerned individuals about the implementing the copy of the implementing rules and regulations. As of now, I'm trying to ask my colleagues in the CDA about a presentation for the salient features of the IRR. What I have is the full copy of the IRR, and I will try to my best to discuss the salient features of the implementing rules and regulations. So please allow me enough time to prepare the presentation, Kong Kanama. If with your indulgence, please allow me to prepare first the presentation.
Hindi pa prepared ang kuan. Okay. For the guidance of the CDA, can we ask the PCC what particular provisions you would like to be discussed by the CDA habang maghintay po tayo sa kanila? PCC or anybody from the sector? What particular, kasi hindi natin pwede i-discuss lahat role hanggang role 2020, no? Ang haba 22, no? What particular dito po? PCC?
Yes, sir.
Edwin, go ahead, Edwin.
Saan po dito?
I defer to you, Chair Gary.
Anybody from the sector who would like to suggest anong particular dito? Sir?
Siguro for one thing, Kong Ben, can Attorney Eric go through the organization being envisioned by CDA as reflected in the IRR? And
May
also
kopya ka na ba, Sir Gary? Wala pa?
Wala pa, Kong Ben. Wala pa.
Mas maganda may kopya na kayo para makita kung anong particular rule para doon na. Okay. Sige, anong gusto mo, sir? Yung ano ang babasahin ko every rule, sir, ha? Sige, i-plus natin, sir. Yung mga title lang, title, para may guide tayo. Saan dito ang gusto natin ma-discuss, no? Okay, ito. Rule 1, general provisions. Okay, next. Let's proceed. Okay, yung mga kuan lang. Okay, general provisions. Sige. Parang definition of terms lang yun. Okay, next. Sige, faster lang, faster. Yung role to, yun na ang powers ng CDA. Yung role to. Okay. Sige. Yon ang mga kuan. Sige. Role 3, yon ang dito na ang makita mo, no? Role 3, governance, administration, makita mo na yung 6 clusters. Credit, consumer, human resource, ganyan. Okay. So, including the composition of the board of directors. Okay. Role 3, ganyan.
Kong Kanama, would you allow me to present now? I have the slides ready for the presentation.
Okay, sir. Ang ibig lang sabihin natin, sir, baka yung mga roles lang, mga na talagang very contentious o napag heavily discussed during the consultation. Sige, sir. Can we do that in 5 to 10 minutes? Sige.
5 to 10 minutes. I'll try, sir.
Yung highlight lang, sir. Highlight lang.
Sige, sir. Sige po.
Huwag na lang yung mga sir. Sige. Sir, can you proceed?
Yes, sir. I'll just going to present to you the copy of the IR.
Slides.
Okay. I have some technical problem. Wait lang po ah.
I think, sir, last time, yung na hinihintay talaga sa sektor, yung your role 3, yung governance, di ba? Baka doon ang isa sa very interested po yung sektor. So, how do you compose the clusters? Ganyan.
Okay sir, sige po.
Para baka doon tayo mag-start. Kasi last time, palaging maraming tanong doon.
Can you see the presentation now?
Yeah, your role 3. Ganyan, oo.
Okay. Okay, the rule 3, it's about governance and administration. No? It covers the composition of the board of directors of the Cooperative Development Authority. It states here that the authority shall have the board of directors. Formerly, with the old law, ang tawag natin doon sa ating board is
Sir, sir, hindi man, bakit natin yung slide? Yung hindi ko masyadong makita yung kalate.
Attorney Eric, hindi full yung hindi full yung screen.
Screen.
Kalahati lang, 50% lang yan.
Okay. Yan po ma'am, malinaw na po ba yung copy?
December.
Hindi nag-move, kalahati lang.
Okay, wait lang po. Pasensya na po.
Ma'am, excuse me. Baka medyo langanan po ang CDA. Nandito na ba ang land bank?
Wala pang nag-acknowledge po.
Good morning, Congressman Kanama.
Okay.
This is Mr. Dogal Sim. I was invited to join in, sir, but they are coming in already. The other land bank representatives.
Kasi sir, sa land bank po, hindi pa masyado sa CDA yung presentation. Is it okay with you? Kayo na po ang mauna. Land bank.
Sir, let me notify sir yung representatives kasi may in charge po sa loan sa amin. Can you give me, sir,
okay,
mga 5
go back to land bank. Okay. Can we go back to CDA? Okay na, sir.
Yan, pwede na, Attorney Eric.
Okay na?
Okay na.
Okay. So, ito nga po, Rule 3, it speaks, it's about governance and administration. So, the provision of Rule 3 covers the organization of the Board of Directors of the Cooperative Development Authority. So, it is composed of the 6 members and the chairperson. The chairperson will be with the rank of undersecretary, and the 6 members shall be with the rank of assistant secretary, and 2 ex officio officers, ex officio members of the board of directors that will come from the
May presentation daw ang land bank?
Hello po, please unmute po yung iba.
Oo nga, kasi si Gob ito nagtatanong.
Ma'am, please. Sige. Please proceed, Sir Eric.
Yes po. Okay, so there would be the composition of the board of directors is composed of the chairperson with the rank of undersecretary and 6 members of the board of directors that has a rank of assistant secretary, and 2 ex officio members that will come from the Department of Trade and Industry and the DILG with at least a rank of assistant secretary. So the 6 members of the official 6 members of the board of the directors will represent 6 clusters. First would be the first cluster.
Sir Eric.
Yes, sir.
Attorney. My colleagues in this committee, we can always interject, no, during the presentation. Kung mayroon kayong gustong itanong, we can always interject, no. Kasi yung kasamaan ko sa Committee on Cooperatives, you can always, yes, Sige. Can we proceed, Sir Attorney Eric?
Okay, thank you, sir. So all the members of the board of directors are all presidential appointees, and the 6 members, the official members of the board, will be representing the 6 clusters that as provided by Republic Act 11364.
Sir, may I interject, sir?
Yes,
Do
sir.
you have now the persons, can you, for the benefit of all of us, sino na po ang board of director of letter A, letter B, letter C, letter D, letter E, letter F?
Okay po.
Sir? Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay. For the credit and financial service and banking insurance and credit surety fund, the board of director that represents this cluster is no other than Assistant Secretary Vidal Villanueva.
Okay.
And for the consumers, marketing, and producers and logistic is ang ating representative from this cluster that is appointed to the board is no other than our Pendatum Disimban, no? Assistant Pendatum Disimban as the representative. For human services, health, housing, workers, and labor service, it is represented by Assistant Secretary Merla Paradillo. Then for education and advocacy, it is represented by ASEC Sam Ginumla. For the agriculture, agrarian and aquaculture, farmers, dairy, and fisher folks, si ASEC Lazaga of from Calamba. And for public utilities, electricity, water, and communications and transport, it's represented by Assistant Secretary Abad Santos po.
Okay,
Sila
sir.
po ang nagre-represent doon sa 6 clusters.
May I request, sir, for this committee that will be furnished yung information na binanggit mo?
Yes, sir. We will have
para alam namin, para alam namin sino-sino ang mapuntahan namin na naka-assign po every cluster. At baka maisama doon sa information yung date of appointment bawat isa.
Sige po. We will furnish you. We will send to you a form, an official letter identifying those the members of our board of directors with their a copy of their appointment as the representative.
Regarding the DTI, sir, and the DLJ, mayroon na ba silang napadala?
As of now, sir, wala pa because we are still waiting for the publication of these implementing rules and regulations before we're going to communicate to them.
Hello.
To send.
Okay. Please unmute po. Dong.
Okay, can I proceed po?
Yeah.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
Excuse me. Can I acknowledge our minority leader? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a point of clarification, Mr. Chairman. Because in section 1, first paragraph, and the last part of the section 1, Assistant Secretary, all of whom shall be appointed by the President of the Philippines and chosen among the nominees from the cooperative sector. Now, ang tanong, Mr. Chairman, are all those mentioned board members are organic members and officers of the co-ops?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Attorney Robles, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I could hear, sir. With regards to the appointment of the board, the sixth board of directors, I believe they are all representing they came from the cooperative sector po. And as far as I'm concerned, it is, I think, within the prerogative of the president to appoint whoever he wished to appoint to the board of directors, sir.
Yeah, but of course, it is the prerogative of the president. But under Section 1, napakalinaw na and choosing among the nominees from cooperative sector. That's why I'm asking if those mentioned from A to F are organic members of a certain co-ops. Now, next question is how we do about the nomination. Ano yung proseso ng nomination? Kasi ganito lang yung Mr. Chairman. So we want to make sure that board members of the board in the CDA should be duly representing the co-op sector or the line sector that they will represent. Now that's why I'm asking about, though it is the prerogative of the president, but I'm asking if those mentioned names really represent as an organic members and officers of a certain co-op. And if that is the case, paano yung proseso nung pag-nominate? Kasi, mo letter A, credit and financial services, it goes back, it means that those nominees should came from credit co-ops. Diba? So, ganon, agriculture, agrarian, letter A, agriculture, agrarian, aquaculture, farmers, dairy. This came from the agricultural sector, co-op sector. Yun yung tanong. Are they really members, organic members and officers of a certain co-ops in line of the task given to them to focus on a particular sector in the cooperative sector?
Yes, sir. As far as we are concerned, sir, I believe that the members of the boards that were appointed are members and officers of cooperatives in the Philippines, sir.
Okay, just one quick For example, letter F, public utilities. I suppose those sector under public utilities have been consulted and nominated somebody to take the position of such position in the board. Let me ask Mr. Chairman, since the power block, which is from the minority, is with us now, Kong Dagoop, Ciro Dagoop, and Kong Guya, have they been consulted and be part of this nomination that will represent the public utilities? Can we ask them, Mr. Chairman? Because in the House, it's the power boys or the power block that really fight and push for the enhancement of electric cooperatives in the House. No? So may we ask both Congressman Sergio Dagoop and Congressman Goya? Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, it's a good point. And we ask Honorable Dagoop to comment. So, kasi wala po si Kong Guya. So, nandito po si Kong Dagoop from APIC party list. He's part of the minority bloc. So, are you in?
Am I already recognized, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On my part, I was not part of the crafting. I understand that this is an IRR of the Cooperative Development Authority, and considering that we also have member electric cooperatives, I think 12 of them or 13 are registered with the Cooperative Development Authority. So I would just ask the CDA if in the crafting of the IRR, are there members of electric cooperatives participating or invited in the crafting of this IRR? Because they are the electric cooperatives that will be affected by the amendment of the cooperative code, particularly the IRR. So in on our part, no, I trusted the Cooperative Development Authority that they have also invited the representatives of CDA registered electric cooperative. So have the CDA done that, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, before that CDA would answer.
Okay, sir. Yes.
Congressman Kuya. Can we allow first Congressman Kuya?
Yes, Your Honor.
Kuya, you are recognized from Rico Boda Party List. Pater, from Digos.
Nakamute. Ayan. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Magandang umaga sa lahat ng mga kasama natin sa committee, especially you, Mr. Chairman. Maganda yung tanong ng minority natin, minority leader, si Congressman Caraps. Kailangan talaga yan mayroong proper, kung ano bang process sa pag-nominate ng mga board, especially itong sa kay ASEC Abad Santos, representing public utilities. Hindi ko pa naririnig itong pangalan nito sa power sector, Mr. Chair. Kaya siguro we have to review yung concern ng ating magiting na minority leader, no? If we can still review this one, mas maganda siguro, Mr. Chairman, so that yung mag-represent sa board is talagang galing dyan sa sector na yan, sa power sector at sa water, communication, and transport. So, maganda yung observation.
Okay.
Yung bagong minority floor leader. Salamat, Mr. Chair.
Your Honor.
Can we go back to the CDA for your...
Yes. Okay. For the information po ng everyone, si ASEC Abad Santos came from the transport sector po, not from the electric, water, and communications. And during the consultation with the crafting of the implementing rules and regulations, we invited PhilFeco, the organization, umbrella organizations of all electric cooperatives that are registered with the CDA, and some of the electric cooperatives individually were invited to the consultation. So it's a public consultation, so I believe they are all represented during the crafting of the implementing rules and regulations. So kaya siguro hindi nyo kabisado si ASEC Abad Santos because he came from the transport sector, not from the electricity. Yun lang po.
Mr. Chair, follow-up question, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Honorable Nagoo. Yes.
This is also in connection with the issue being raised by our minority leader in nominating who is that the representatives from letter F, no, sector letter F. Was there a participation during the nomination? Was there a participation from the electricity sector in the process of nomination? I'm talking about the electric cooperatives registered with CDA, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Yeah, can you answer?
Okay, sir. ASEC Abad Santos is actually the old members of the Board of Administrators before the promulgation of Republic Act 11364. So na-appoint na siya during the time of the old charter of the CDA. He was carried over to the position of Assistant Secretary under the new law, Republic Act 11364, as representative of the public utilities because he came from the transport sector. That's why siya po ang nakaupo dyan sa public utilities, which includes the electricity, water, and communication transport. About the nomination of the members of the board of directors, I believe it is within the cooperative movement or the cooperative sector to nominate their respective nominees to the presidential management staff for the consideration and appointment of the President of the Philippines. So it is within the sector to submit their nomination to the presidential management staff. That I believe is the intent of the law, that it will not be include the nomination of the members of the board of directors is not included in the IR because it is within the executive office of the president to appoint the respective assistant secretaries or members of a board of directors. So dapat ang mga cooperative sectors, they have to submit it to the presidential management staff, and the management staff will screen and will recommend to the president who will be appointed as members of the board of directors.
Mr. Chair, with the indulgence of the chair, if I may be allowed to for another clarification. If that is the case, Mr. Chair, so the present composition of the board will stay in holdover capacity. They are just they are just being nominated or being distributed to the different sectors. Am I correct with that, Mr. Chair?
May I respond, sir? Okay. If you will allow me, Your Honor, there are some of the members of the board of directors that are appointed under Republic Act 11. First is under the consumer and marketing and first is under the consumer marketing and producers and logistics under ASEC Disimban. Meron na yata siyang appointment under Republic Act 11364, including the Human Services, Health, Housing, Workers, Labor Service, which is represented by ASEC Merla Paradillo. I believe the President also appointed her under Republic Act 11364. Under Agriculture, Agrarian, Aquaculture, Farmers, Dairy, and Fisher Folks, I believe it is also appointed si ASEC Lasaga, is also appointed under Republic Act 11364. As to the financial cluster and the public utilities and education and advocacy, I have to verify if the appointment of the representative has already been appointed by the President under Republic Act 11364. Please allow me to verify the facts about the appointment.
In that case, Attorney Eric, in that case, I reiterate the request, mabigyan po ang committee ng information o every cluster sila po ngayon ang nag-represent na board of director. And to satisfy po yung mga inquiry namin kung nag-o-off, mailagay po doon date of appointment kung covered ba sa bagong batas, bagong IAR, at anong tanong po kanina kay kung nag-o-off. Ano tong basic na primary or federation or group na galing po siya. Kasi yun po ang gusto po ni minority leader na talagang galing po ang sector. Kaya dan, mapolis po kami para mapapubliko po yung information. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor. We will go. I'm going to report that to my heads, so that we could prepare the formal letter that will answer your request, sir.
Mr. Chair, finally, I would like to ask the official interpretation of the Cooperative Development Authority as far as the nomination. Kasi kanina sinabi mag-submit lang daw yung different sector. So kung ganon, walang specific mechanics, no? If there is no specific mechanics, so paunahan lang pag-submit doon. I don't think that would be the intent of the law. I think there is a process there in the nomination wherein the president will select from among the nominees. I with all due respect no to Attorney Robes, I don't believe that the different sector will just submit their nominees without a process. So there should be a process of nomination from the different sector within which the nominees will be selected by the president. So I would ask again, Mr. Chair, I would like to reiterate, may I ask the official interpretation of the CDA in as far as the nomination provision is concerned? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much for the comment. Please take note po, CDA. We will wait for your official reply on the next meeting. Okay? Can we proceed to the next?
Mr. Chair, before we will proceed to another topic, just
Can I recognize first the minority leader, then our vice chairperson? Yes, minority leader.
Mr. Chairman, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, ganito na lang ho, for the sake of transparency, kasi napaka-sensitibo yung clause na appointed by the President of the Philippines and chosen among the nominees from the cooperative sector. Just for transparency, Mr. Chairman, may we ask the CDA, all nominees from the 6 subsector of the representing the board of directors, can we ask the CDA to furnish this committee all the nominees that applies during the process of selection for the board of directors, 6 board of directors of the CDA, Mr. Chairman. Para for the sake of transparency din, Mr. Chairman, para makita natin kung indeed there are chosen and there are nominees coming from different sector of co-ops. So let the CDA, Mr. Chairman, furnish a copy of all those nominees, no, from different fields of work under the board of directors position in the CDA, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay. Please take note, Sir Eric.
Mr. Chair, may I respond to the request of the Honorable Congressman? As far as the CDA is concerned, we do not receive any nomination from the sector. I believe all the nominations are submitted to the presidential management staff. So we don't have any information or records as to who are nominated by the sector to the board. So I believe the presidential management staff office is the proper agency that will have to respond to the request of the Honorable Congressman as to who are the nominees of the cooperative sector to the board of the directors, because the CDA has no authority or has no power to accept or to receive nominations from the sector.
Mr. Chair, I would like to clarify my question, Mr. Chair, if I may be allowed.
Sir, can I recognize first Honorable Ibkas kung kasi I have committed na siya
Okay,
muna.
Mr. Chair, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honorable Ibkas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As I heard of this cluster of the cooperatives, may we know what is the process to be chosen as a nominee from or under the public utilities? Because as we take note, under public utilities, there are 4 cooperatives: electricity, water, communication, and transport. Now, talking of the process and the choices, before the president will sign on it, para mabigyan sila ng appointment, hindi pa ito sila nagme-meeting, nag-uusap, or nag-election, din come up a one nominee kay presidente para mapipirmahan, or each sector under public utilities will submit to the president directly without consulting or convening themselves. Ano ba itong proseso nito? Paano sila mapili? Yun lang tanong ko.
Sir, if I
Yeah.
may, if I may answer the question, I think the nomination is purely within the sector, sir. Hindi po covered ng Republic Act 11364, the process, even with the implementing of rules and regulation, we did not touch the nomination process because we believe that it is within within the it is incumbent on the cooperative sector to nominate their representative to the office of the president. That's why we did not include this in the implementing rules and regulation. Also, it is not provided in the law, the Republic Act 11364, as to how the nomination process will be. So it is incumbent upon the sector on how they're going to come up with the nomination to the office of the president, who will be appointed as the members of the board of directors. So we would like to apologize if we will not be able to provide you with a copy of the list of the nominees because we don't have a copy of the nominations. You just wait from whatever the president will going to announce who will be appointed to the board of directors. So we would like to apologize to the honorable congressman. We don't have a copy.
Follow up muna, Honorable Ibkas, then we go back to the minority leader.
Ganito kasi yung klase tanong namin. Number one, wala kaming idea sa IRR. Pangalawa, under public utilities, 4 na sektor, sabi ko, electricity, water, communication, and transport. Now, are you seeing that each sector will nominate among themselves, then direct to the president, then bahala na sa president kung sino pipiliin dito sa 4? Yung bang ibig mo sabihin, attorney?
Yes, sir. As far as we are concerned, we know about the law. Yun ang interpretation namin. It is within the power of the office of the president to accept the nomination and not by the Cooperative Development Authority here.
Correct.
Your Honor.
Okay. Can I recognize our minority leader? Yes. Honorable Paduano.
Though the argument of CDA is correct, but being the regulatory body for the cooperative, you should have at least at the very least, you should have recommended to the president, for him to choose. But those recommendations of the CDA should came from the nominees of the cooperative sector. No, you don't have the power to appoint because that is the executive department and of course the president that has all the power to appoint USECs and ASECs. But in this case, Mr. Chairman, CDA as the regulatory body of the cooperative in the country should have at the very least, recommended to the president the list of nominees coming from the cooperative sector just to make sure that all nominees in the table of the president came from the cooperative sector. That's why, Mrs. Chair, I would like to propose an amendment on this section 1 of this IRR, Mr. Chairman, that we will not just let anybody or any sector that will submit to the office of the president, to the PMS, list of nominees or nominees. No, dapat Mr. Chairman, CDA should have a actively involved in the process of nomination. Mr. Chairman, just to make sure that all appointed by the president came from the cooperative sector. Now, with regards to the list of nominees, though they are now appointed, but by amending this IRR and giving the CDA at the very least, sabi ko nga, at the very least, the task and power to nominate members of COO through the nomination of the cooperative sector, we can make sure that those board of directors sitting in the board truly came and genuinely came from the cooperative sector, Mr. Chairman. That's why I
Okay.
propose an amendment on that, Mr. Chairman. If the
Thank you so
CDA
much,
will
Honorable Minority Leader. Can we summarize what we have discussed? Number one, we are requesting the CDA to furnish us those who are now in convent, no, na 6 na mga board of directors for this committee, their date appointment at saka saan nanggaling ang basic cooperative niya. Ikalawa, yung request kanina na mayroong clear na interpretation as to the process of nomination, selection until the appointment. All of those are necessary, and we will give time to the CDA for that. And may I just ask the indulgence of my colleagues in this committee na bigyan muna natin ng time yung CDA to furnish us the reply on that. Then we will have another meeting. Then we will discuss their answer. Is it okay, Sir CDA? Okay. So, before we proceed,
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Last na, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, Minority Leader.
On the last point that I've raised, with regards to the somewhat role of the CDA in terms of submitting list of nominees, can we get the reaction from the CDA by amending portion of this section 1, Mr. Chairman? Can we get the reaction from the CDA, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah. Attorney Eric.
Sir, these implementing rules and regulations has already been published last October 12. It has been certified by the owner that it's already been published, and it will be effective tomorrow. Thus, implementing rules and regulations. So I don't know if it's still possible to amend the amendment of these implementing rules and regulations. And I believe these implementing rules and regulations have undergone the process of consultation with the cooperative sector all over the Philippines. So I believe we were able to comply with the consultation requirement with us to the crafting of the implementing rules and regulations. So we just don't know if it's still possible to amend these implementing rules and regulations, considering that it's already been published with the owner.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. Yes, last Minority Leader.
Yun nga ang tanong eh. Why we are discussing it? This is just for information of this committee. Yun yung problema, Mr. Chairman. Because you're telling us, CDA, you're telling us that you have consulted all the cooperative in the country. But tingnan mo yung members of the House, which is precisely our oversight function in the House. We're making sure that all IRRs conform with the law. And whatever will be defects on the IRR vis-a-vis the law, we have all the right. And that is our task in Congress as part of our oversight function. Now, don't tell me, I just want to get your assurance if you can push for it. Now, tama ka ho, lalabas ng IRR. But in the middle or implementation of that IRR, pwede naman ma-amend eh. Di ba? A lot of IRR is being amended by the agency. Much more today that you're facing Congress, the Committee on Development Committee in the House, Cooperative Development Committee in the House, and we're telling you that we should look into this. I'm not telling that before this IRR goes out and approved and being implemented, dapat naka-amend na. What I'm telling you is, this is all about transparency in selecting board of directors in the CDA. We will not allow in the minority. Pabalik-balik tayo dito, Mr. Chairman, pag ganito yung attitude ng CDA. I just want to get the commitment of the CDA if they're okay with such idea and amendment later, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Minority Leader. Thank you for your insights. I think we are grateful to that. So I would like to reiterate po sa CDA to submit to this committee the information that we needed. And this committee will try to review in the next meeting based on the statement of our colleague. This committee has the oversight function, and we can always exercise that if necessary, depending po on the next discussion. Before we proceed, I need to acknowledge first.
Mr. Chair, just a point of information to CDA, Mr. Chair.
Sige,
In brief,
lang po. Sige.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In the case of National Electrification Administration, which holds the same power to that of the newly amended CDA law, no? Hindi naman kailangan na amendahan pa yan kung di na po pwede. But the issue here is just transparency, no? As reiterated again and again by the minority leader, transparency in the selection. So, in the case of electric cooperatives, what NIA did is they just issue a memorandum circular which defines the mechanics in the selection, in the nomination. Yun lang naman, hindi po pwede yung sinabi with all due respect to CDA na wala kaming pakialam dyan. Kanya-kanya na lang kayong, that's the point of the question I have raised in asking your official definition. Hindi po pwede yung you are the supervising government agency in the cooperative sector, tapos hugas kamay kayo na malinaw po sa section 1 na it will came from the different sector. It will be chosen from the different sector. So, as supervising agency, no, you need to promulgate rules on how to operationalize the selection process. And that is what the NAA did. Mayroong memorandum circular on how to go with it. Hindi pwede pabayaan yung different sector na mag-uunahan doon pag-nominate. That is not the case supposed to be. So, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Chairman?
The indulgence of my colleague, kasi nadito na po ang taga-land bank, kasi we committed na we will have the land bank at 10 o'clock. Is it okay? We will suspend muna itong CDA to give chance to the land bank. May I ask the permission of my colleagues? Okay lang?
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, Honorable Goya.
just a manifestation, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, please proceed.
I joined the manifestation of our honorable minority floor leader, Mr. Chair. No, I joined the manifestation and his sentiment for the record, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. Well recorded. So, if there is no objection, we suspend the discussion on the IRR and let's welcome our resource persons from the Land Bank of the Philippines. Sir CDA, can we stop this screen? Sir, i-clear mo na natin yung screen. Attorney Mariel, can you introduce our guest from the Land Bank?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. For the Land Bank, sir, our resource person is a president and CEO of Land Bank, Ma'am Cecilia Borromeo. She's already on board, sir. And again, together with her is First Vice President Emily Tamayo, First Vice President Elcid Pangilinan, and AVP Domingo Galsim, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. In behalf of the House of Representatives Committee on Co-ops Development, we are very happy, we are very glad to welcome our solid partner from the Land Bank of the Philippines. Can we have the opening statement of our dear Land Bank of the Philippines President, Madam Cecilia Borromeo? Ma'am, your opening statement.
Yeah. Sorry for the glare. Good morning, Congressman Kanama and all the stakeholders in the cooperative sector. Thank you for the invitation for Land Bank to be present in this public hearing. I hope we can clarify or address all the issues that you will raise.
Okay, thank you so much. So, may I request now from the cooperative sector to present yung issues and concerns natin to the Land Bank so that dito na po ang knowledge done, the President of the Land Bank of the Philippines who will address all our issues and concerns. May I acknowledge Mr. Pilimon Ispares. Sir, are you in?
Good morning, Kong. I'm in, Kong.
In 3 minutes, please.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair, Congressman Ben Kanama. I am present this morning, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Ispares, can you proceed with the issues and concerns because you were the one who wrote the Land Bank of the Philippines. So gusto natin makausap siya ngayon tungkol po doon sa mga exchange of greetings. Please proceed.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Chair, and good morning to all members of this Honorable August Committee on Cooperative Development, headed by our own Congressman of the Coopnaco Party List, Kong Ben Kanama, who just celebrated his birthday last October 16. So belated happy birthday, Kong Ben. And we are grateful this time and this morning, we able to join together with the President of the Land Bank of the Philippines, Madam President Cecilia Borromeo. So parang kailan lang, Ma'am Cecil, nakita tayo dahil that was 2013 naging ginintuan ang Barbasa Multipurpose Cooperative where I am representing right now, and I am the CEO of the cooperative. And it so happened that I am the chair of the Committee on Government Financial Institution created by the cooperative sector. So that's why I am tasked right now to represent the committee, and I would like to present also the vice chair of the committee, the PCC chair of the chair of the Philippine Cooperative Center, Dr. Gary Garibaldi, and then the rest of the members. So again, good morning to all cooperative sectors. So, Mr. Chair, we will be discussing the letter that we have presented with the Land Bank of the Philippines, and we are happy that we received the reply on September 14. So with this, we discussed the reply, and we have conducted a lot of meetings with the committees. So, Mr. Chair, I would like to present and discuss our concerns also on the reply of the Land Bank of the Philippines. Actually, we have 9 issues there presented, and then
can you share on the screen, Mr. Ispares?
I have no I have no copy here, Mr. Chair. I don't know with the Secretariat.
Can you just read?
Verbatim?
Okay.
Mahaba ito, Mr. Chair. Can I have only emphasize on our reactions or yes?
Mr. Ispares, yung
Yes.
highlight na lang, yung highlights, meaning yung pinaka-importante para doon na lang mag-respond ang Land Bank.
Okay. Sige, Mr. Chair, thank you very much. Now, as mentioned, we have 9...
Mr. Ispares, to save time, pwede i-diretso na lang ano ba ang mga points na gusto natin ang reply sa Land Bank.
Okay. So on the reply number 1, Mr. Chair, with regards our request with the partnership with the Federation regarding the capacity building, and just in case on the financial services, we requested the Land Bank in our letter that they are going to consider Federation as their partner in the capability building, and of course in the relending and other financial program on the sharing basis of what you call that, on the charges to the primary cooperatives, because as observed with regards on the financial services, the rate of Land Bank to the primary and the Federation are just the same. So with this, we know for a fact that during the discussions, the Federation has its responsibility to really provide service to its primary members. So especially on the developmental aspect of the primary co-ops. So that's why we are requesting Land Bank that Federation would be partner, same as what they are doing with the Land Bank Countryside Development Foundation, that they tap the LCDFI as part of the partner in providing technical support and trainings for the primary co-ops who are their only partners. No, but then with regards to the federation, I know the federation has a lot of things to do, and sometimes they lack finances, no, on developing their primary co-op, especially in helping their micro, small, and even the medium co-ops, no. So that's why this is very important. As what I have mentioned, we in Barbasa and the cooperative of our Kung Ben was not able to have such development if without the help of this
So
effort,
may I
this
clarify
financial.
ano ang request ninyo?
Ang request kung Ben is sa sagot kasi parang hindi na tumbok din ng leader dito na willing si Land Bank to partner with the federation on the one aspect, the capability building, and the other one with regards na kung may financing support on the primary co-ops, especially malaki naman ang tulong ni Federation in developing
You want to become a partner po
yes,
sa
the partner. And then maging 50-50 sharing sana, Mr. Chair, no, on the revenues, because si Federation naman ang mag-effort, mag-work out in the field, not necessarily na yung mga staff ng Land Bank will be directly supervising and looking into whatever support of the primary. So that's why Federation is happy if Land Bank will consider this, but then their leader hindi natumbok dito, Mr. Chair, no? Diniscuss lang yung function ni LCDFI and then yung FIT program ni CDA. So parang walang direct or categorically na sabi na okay, yes or no, Mr. Chair, on this
what next?
Next is our request to on the iRescue to reduce sana from 5% to 3%, pero hindi rin nabanggit dito, no? So I know maabutan na lang tayo ng December, so patapos no iRescue program. So what we could request Land Bank right now might be on their bayanihan 2 na sana gawing zero kung kasi may pundo naman yung government, and give co-op as their priority also partner in the bayanihan 2.
Number 3.
And then the other one, Mr. Chair, is that yung is doing business. So far we have read this. Alam naman namin na may ibang gawin, may ginawa din silang bank, so ni-reduce nila yung kanilang mga disciplinary requirements. So that's why we are able to see, and parang pwede na rin na ginagawa, no, on the part of the development. Yung sa may speed PUB, I know our request is supposed na mag-condone ng mga charges dito, and then making the restructuring up to 10 years. But then the reply of the Land Bank is they are what you call that, being the restructured for new repayment terms attuned to their cash flow. So sana with our request, they are going to consider whatever restructuring terms and conditions that you're going to provide with the speed PUB. And then suspensions of only itong number 5, okay na to, Mr. Chair. And then with regards on the stimulus package for the bayanihan 2, so what we have mentioned is that mahaba ang reply dito with the Land Bank, but then our request only here is simple na magawing partner pa rin si cooperative, at the same time bigyan ng priority, and then a clear allocation, no, kung magkano ba talaga ang kung kaya, no, mag-provide ng clear allocations on the bayanihan 2, because we know for a fact around magkano ba 'yan? 18 million ba 'yan? Or more than no yung sa Bayanihan 2. So that is on the Bayanihan 2, and then on the representation with the Land Bank, we are happy to hear that the response or the reply, Mr. Chair, that they are supporting the amendments of that Land Bank Code, which now the House Bill number 2650, no, providing clear allocations, no, of representative coming from
So wala kayong question doon?
Hindi masyado na doon, Mr.
Wag na lang
Chair.
yan kasi okay na tayo doon.
Okay, yes. And then, with regards on the minimum 2 years credit line, hindi lang na talagang nasagot ni Land Bank na sige, we agree with that 2-year minimum credit line kasi all about the experiences of the cooperative, ano naman, no? Nasa 1 year kasi yung mga renewal, tapos may tedious din yung mga documentations. So that's why the sector is appealing to have a minimum 2-year credit line for this. And then hindi yan nasagot, Mr. Chair, kung oo ba o hindi, no, dahil ang sinasabi lang dito, we understand na mayroong mayroong REST asset acceptance criteria dinidevelop si Land Bank. And then the last one, Mr. Chair, is about the issues and concerns with regards to the palm oil and the pineapple. So with the discussions, I know the MASPEC is here if they have time to present this further. But then out from the result of our discussion, Mr. Chair, is that ang nangyari doon sa Mindanao and sa Palawan, parang write-off ang nakita ko sa iba doon, or either restructuring, but then our request on the Land Bank hindi rin masyado nasagot dahil sabi natin doon in our request is that to condone any outstanding capitalized interest, no, related to the said loan, to condone any outstanding current interest related on that loan, and then amortize the principal. So ibig sabihin, Mr. Chair, dahil based on the data and the presentations during the discussion with the committee, na nasira, no, natamaan talaga itong project na to, then itong mga cooperatives na maganda, iba pa nga doon, awardee na co-ops, biglang nagka-problema dahil siyempre binigay itong program with them na sana partner, pero nakabuhol yung project. Ngayon, ang kawawa, si co-op. So that's why, ang sabi dito, ang request natin is that kung pwede sana i-amortize yung principal balance up to the 20 years, no, without interest, rather than na singilin sila on the restructuring. May nagawa nga, restructured din. Kaya lang 7-10% din yung interest on the restructured loan. So hindi talaga kaya ni co-op na yun, yung ganyan. Saan sila? Ibig sabihin, kahit ubusin pa nilang asset nila, so kawawa naman ng co-op. So that's why we able to have request this with Land Bank, no, na magkondon ng mga charges, tapos importante mabalik siguro yung principal, or the best thing kung talagang tutulungan sa kawalan ng magawa, might be may mga write-off na nabanggit din dito.
Sige, Sir Amon, okay na siguro yun, no?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Pasensya na po, Madam President of the Land Bank of the Philippines, sa mga issues and concern na ibalik natin. Can we now allow Madam Borromeo to have her reply?
Thank you, Congressman Kanama. Doon po sa una na ang gusto niyang mga federations ay they will become conduits for the delivery of land bank services in remote areas, particularly in the conduct of financial literacy training programs. No, but the simple answer is yes. Our letter just discussed or presented what our foundation is doing. So what exactly do you propose? If you propose that we outsource some of our services or the services of our foundation to certain federations, it's not a simple, memorandum of agreement, and then we can do the training programs together. Because if we have to outsource certain services, there has to be a bidding process. So if the federation is willing to enroll itself in the PhilGEPs and participate in a bidding, should this be bidded out, this particular service, then why not? If you have proposals, we can also entertain unsolicited proposals for detailing exactly what are the terms of the partnership that you want. But please remember that we have the same goals. The goal is to help the weaker cooperatives teach the members and the leaders on how the cooperative should be managed and how the members should become more responsible to make the cooperative stronger and their operations sustainable. Because only then can Land Bank actually pour in more investments in the co-op. So if you have any particular detailed proposal on how the partnership should be undertaken, we can accept that, submit to us, we will evaluate and see whether or not we should go through the bidding process that is required under RA 9184. I hope we have clearly answered your request or your issue on the partnership and the financial literacy program.
Mr. Chair.
Madam,
Yes.
just I'm concerned.
Yes, sir.
Tuloy-tuloy yung reply mo. Tapos we allow the sector to have their rejoinder. Tapos, Madam, may I inform the Land Bank na kasama po natin dito yung mga members ng Committee on Cooperatives. Dito po si Congressman Ibgas, our Vice Chairperson. Dito po si Minority Leader, the new Minority Leader po, Kong Caraps Paduano, Congressman Godofredo Goya, and Congressman Sergio Dagook. I think dito rin si Congressman T. Darisco, Congressman John Ong. My colleagues in this committee, they can always interject, no? If you have something to say, you are always allowed. Okay? Anyway, ma'am, you can just answer all the issues kanina. Then we will have another round of the cooperative sector to present their rejoinder.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Congressman. So that's the first issue on the possibility of having the federations as partners in the financial literacy program of Land Bank's Foundation. So, and the reduction of the interest rate on the iRescue program from 5% to 3%. Well, the 5% is something that we studied and believe that this is reasonable based on the risk also that Land Bank is taking. Remember po, pag iRescue, ibig sabihin, there is already a weakness in the credit. So 5% ho, even if you check with other banks and other lenders, we think that's a very concessional given the risk, concessional rate, given the risk that the bank is taking. So I don't think a difference of 2 percentage points will really make a significant impact on the decision of the borrowers, whether or not they would like to Land Bank to assist them during these challenging times. Na if it's not 3%, then they don't want to be rescued. I don't think that is the case. But again, admittedly, Land Bank can give 3% if the risk associated with our investment is not as high as the risk that is the risk that the bank is taking on a borrower whose viability is really heavily impacted, adversely impacted by the pandemic. So, sana ho, since bayanihan po tayo, maintindihan ng ating mga kasamahan sa kooperatiba na si Land Bank din ho, may mga challenges kami, no? And funding, liquidity, and even our solvency. So, let's not weaken the other partner by, imposing something that is not that will adversely impact the viability of the other partner. So, yung 5% we think that is very reasonable. I think yung request ninyo and the bank's adjustments in our requirements, documentary and information requirements to under the ease of doing business principle, I think you're happy with the adjustments that we did. So I think that this issue is addressed. And the deferment of loan payments for...
Ma'am Borromeo?
Yes?
Mayroon pong sasabihin yung kasama natin sa committee. May acknowledge Honorable BG Lacson.
Sige po.
Thank you, Kong Ben.
Ay, kumusta? Maganda yung buhok mo eh.
Good morning to everybody.
Please welcome po to this meeting.
Thank you.
BG Lacson.
Can I just interject to the Land Bank President, Madam Cecile, can you just repeat, are you saying this interest rate is for just the bayanihan or even after the bayanihan, the existing rate of, 5% or 3% is still
Under the iRescue program, that's the issue. No po. The iRescue program, we are offering a 5% fixed interest rate. And I have, by the way, Honorable Congressman, with me in this call, my colleagues, M. Tamayo, Elcid Pangilinan, and Galsim. M, if you are in the call, can you remind us again, until when is the prescribed period for our iRescue program? Is it December 2021?
Ma'am, we have a proposal to extend the iRescue up to December 31, 2022 in consonance po with Bayanihan 2.
Yan 2. Oh, there you go ho. So we have extended it by another year. Originally, it was December 2021. So because of the Bayanihan 2, we are extending it up to December 2022.
Okay, so you have 5% now up to December 2022.
That's correct.
After December 22, what will be the rate? I mean, the lowest rate that you can give to the cooperatives?
I wish I have a crystal ball so I can give you a definitive answer, Congressman, but after December 2022, we don't know how the interest rate will go or where it will be. It may be lower, it may be higher.
Yeah, we are always hoping that it will be lower, so it will be good for the cooperative. But is there a cap that we can do? So because I think we have a bill in Congress. It concerns a micro the micro industries, and we're placing a cap of I think 12% on everything. No, it will be the effective interest rate. But that's why I'm asking you, because it's very dangerous cooperative if there will be no limit on the interest rate. I know it's the interest rate is not regulated, and I think are you also supervised by the BSP?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so I mean, there's no limit with that. But if there's like a heavy inflation, and I think interest will also go to that, and it would be a bad signal for co-ops who are getting loans. And I think it will be somewhat prudent that we should place a ceiling on the interest rate just to protect the small businesses or the co-ops. Can we brief you with your idea on that aspect?
Okay, sir. Yeah, based on my experience and based on the literatures available to financial institutions, there's a danger also of fixing prices and even interest rates. Because if the interest rate that will be fixed by law is something that will make the lenders not viable, then the lenders will simply not lend. And that will actually be more detrimental to the borrowers. So anything that is mandated actually is not favorable to all concerned, because I think we can only the market forces are the better determinants of interest rate.
Madam Cecil, I think I beg to disagree with that.
Okay, sir. So if you have a proposal and there is a law, of course we will abide by the law. Especially if there will be funds that will be given by the government to institutions like Land Bank, where we can give even 0% interest rate. And I think I have shared this with you the first time that we had a huddle like this, where the Department of Agriculture gave funds to the Land Bank and instructed Land Bank to give these loans for free, 0 interest, for the next 8 years to the small rice farmers. But the government had to cough up, I think it's 3 billion pesos from the proceeds of the rice tarification law. So if we have something similar to that for the cooperatives, Congressman, why not? You can use the network of the biggest government financial institution, the Land Bank, to deliver those loans.
Yeah,
Again, there will be a law
that's what I'm trying to
we will
say.
abide.
Because you should not treat yourself, the land bank, as a regular bank. This land
We're
bank
not.
created
We are not.
to help the people, especially in the agriculture sectors and other.
You are very correct, sir.
I think we can mandate a law fixing the ceiling so that it will be attractive to small business or small people. Of course,
that is correct.
It's just better to have lower interest. And I think you're also right there that if government can give the funding, because as you said, Land Bank is not really a regular bank that most banks are really after profit, but Land Bank is different. It's I think its purpose is to help people, especially the farmers. Okay, I think that I have articulated my side to Land Bank, and I think I bring it back to you, Chairman Ben. Thank you.
Would you like to continue, Mr. Chair?
Okay, I think Kong Ben lost the signal. Can I just another question? So as of now, Madam President Cecil, so what is your running interest rate? If there's no bayanihan law, what is the effective interest rate for the Land Bank now?
I'm sorry?
What is your interest rate now, current interest rate now, if there is no bayanihan law?
Well, the interest rate po is dictated by the risk that the bank is taking, and that is why we have a rating system for all types of borrowers. So there are borrowers that are considered low risk, meaning
Okay.
the
So can you give
likelihood
me
of
the range?
collection is
What is
100%.
the range? What is the
So
high
it's
and
a
what
range
is the low?
po.
Can you just give me the range? So I
Kong
understand
BJ, Kong
what
BJ,
is the high and what is
hello.
the low rate?
The range?
Yes, the range of
Oh,
interest rate.
the most prime borrower ho is
Hello,
BVAL
Kong
plus
BJ.
0.5. Whatever is the current BVAL plus 0.5 or even 0.25 bips.
Ma'am, may I interject muna? Hello.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Chair. Go ahead, Chair.
Hello, Kong
Go
BJ,
ahead.
may I interject for a while?
Okay.
Kong?
Yes, Chair.
Hello.
You have the command here. Go ahead. Go ahead, Chair. Command here. Go ahead.
Kong BJ, Ma'am Cecilia, may I interject for a while?
Congressman.
Yeah. May I apologize for very urgent situation here at saka may technical problem. Can I request my partner, si Kong Ibkas, to continue presiding? Kong Ibkas, hello? May technical problem po dito at saka may urgent po akong puntahan. Can I request my partner? Yeah?
Mr. Chair.
Kong Ibkas? Yeah, thank you so much, ha? Ma'am Cecilia Bromeo, thank you so much for your precious time. Pasensya na po, nagkataon may technical problem po at saka may urgent po akong puntahan.
So may I be excused already? Thank you, Congressman.
Ako ang aalis.
Ikaw
Dito
ba
po
ang
si
aalis? O, sige po.
ako po ang aalis.
Sige,
So,
dito lang ako.
sila po ang bahala na kayo. Sa lahat po nakalagin, ay colleagues po, salamat po. Pasensya na po. Kong Ibkas, please, ikaw na bahala.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At your own will and pleasure, yours truly now will be an acting presider of this meeting. Madam President Cecilia Bromeo, please proceed to answer the query of Congressman BG Lacson, please.
Is it Congressman Lacson, or are we still at the interest rate, or would you like to move to proceed to the other issue?
Yeah, I have another concern with how to lend. No, yeah, if we can control the interest rates on the, we cannot because as you said, it's dictated by the market, and you said there's a lot of risk, like if of course we understand if the more risk, you place more interest on it, but of course, as I've said before, you're not really for profit, so just to keep you afloat, of course you should get interest rates, of course. Now, how about giving more concessions to the cooperative, like you don't give them penalties or some sort of anything, just to sweeten the pot for them. Like us, we lend, our association lend, and we don't give interest rate, I mean penalties to our members who lend. So if we can do it, I think Land Bank can also do it, because you are government and your primary aim is to help the people. Can you comment?
We don't penalize borrowers who pay. We penalize borrowers.
Why would you penalize? I mean,
we penalize borrowers who don't pay.
There's business is doing business is a risky thing. You don't control everything, no. So please don't answer me with like that, like that. I know what I'm saying. So what I'm trying to say
is give them a more good concession on something. You can go away the interest. At least you can get away with penalties. You should just give them more time. At least you're also getting interest. See, because the banks have interest on interest, penalties on late payment, and a lot of things that you can throw in on the loan. So it's making it's getting more hard to do business for these cooperatives because they just cooperative because they don't really have money. They just pull their resources together. So you are the one who's supposed to help them.
As I have always been saying, Mr. Congressman Lacson, we give credit to the credit-worthy borrowers, and that is why we employ a lot of people to ensure that those who are given loans can pay. So, but if there are force majeure or there are extreme economic conditions that will adversely affect their operations, then I think over the 57 years that Land Bank has been in operation, we have demonstrated our sincerity in bending back over and give relief to borrowers. And this relief comes in various forms. No, we extend the tenor of the loan. We give extended grace period. In extreme cases, we even waive penalties for as long as they can give us proof that they can pay principal and interest. But we cannot have a policy that will just remove the penalty clauses in our loan agreements. Because if that is a decision point at the very start of the credit relationship, then probably there is something wrong. Probably the counterparty of Land Bank, the loan applicant, is not yet ready for credit. If the main discussion will focus on the penalty.
With your line of thought, ma'am, you're saying that as if you're saying that the Bayanihan Act is wrong because
no, I'm not saying that, Congressman.
Because
I'm not saying that
we remove the penalties in the Bayanihan law. So that's what I'm driving at because Land Bank is really for the people. I think the mindset of Land Bank is somewhat difficult or have some problem because in one of our committee meetings, no, and this is my worry, no, in one of our committee meetings, this is my worry with the interest rate that is flexible. You mean you have to do credit analysis or you weigh the risk. And one of your officers, I already forget what his name is, and I think he's a vice president. No, he told us in the committee, and a lot of congressmen got furious with this comment because he's telling the farmers are not credit worthy because they're not educated. They just get elementary education. So how would you expect to get them or you get credit worthiness with them if these farmers are tilling the soil for us or giving us our food and you would not even give them a good credit, but you know they're hardworking people, so we have to give them credit for that. No, so what I'm trying to say is how can you make a policy? Of course, if you see a farmer, then minamaliit mo siya dahil hindi siya nakatapos ng education. That's our mindset eh. If you're not educated, you're not credit worthy. But you can see that they're doing, you don't really need to be, you don't really need to have a college degree to farm. You know, it's morely experience. Of course, DA can help them improve their technology. They teach, but you don't get that on college degrees. So, unless you want to be an expert in agriculture, So just what I'm saying. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng mga creditworthiness is nakikita mo through their education, no? So
Tama po kayo.
the experiences too that they have. So I think the comment of the land bank officer is na uncalled for. Yung committee hearing namin sa micro and small businesses, sinabi niya, ganon. Kaya nag-react lahat yung mga congressman na nag-ano doon. So, I'm just bringing this out kasi yung nakita kong sinasabi nyo, credit warning mababa pag yung risk na ganyan. So, it could be very selective and I cannot say it's arbitrary, no? Pero it will really depend kung sino yung nag-a-assess. Baka pag yung nag-a-assess, katulad nung vice president na resource person nung committee, mataas na interest rate nga ang bibigay niya. So, yun ay hirapan natin itong mga nasa agriculture sector natin o itong maliliit na cooperative. So that's what I'm trying to articulate, no? So sana pagbigyan natin kung ano yung malalagay dito sa IRR na to, no? What I'm just trying to say na para ma-entice na maggawa ng business ang mga cooperative, lagay lang natin yung magkaroon tayo ng ceiling, no? Kasi if you experience in the 80s or 90s, I think 80s, the interest rate goes even up to 40%, 30 or 40% because of the economic challenges. But kung ganyan ang business, pagsak lahat ng cooperative, no? So, yun ang sinasabi ko. Pwede naman tayong maglagay ng cap kung ang mangungutang is small businesses and cooperative. So, just to give the cost, kasi actually ang land bank is not really for profit. It's really to help people. It's created to help people. I think I have articulated enough my side, Kong Chair. I think you can have the floor now. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Kong BG Lacson, for your thought and wisdom. Shall we go back to the presenter of the cooperative sector after your interjection? Presenter,
Mr. Chair,
true?
I think Land Bank had not yet finished their reply. Can we?
Yeah, that's why I give you a floor so that you can raise your point. Okay. So Land Bank, please, can you give or can you answer to the presenter, Madam Press?
Thank you, Congressman. Congressman, what issue do you want me to address?
Yeah, I think the presenter has a query for you to be answered.
I've heard several queries and I've answered, I think, at least 2 or 3.
Presenter, can you ask again?
Okay, Mr. Chair, thank you very much again. Now, nandyan lang tayo on the interest rate. So I have something discussed a while ago with regards on the cases of the palm oil and the pineapple production in Mindanao and Palawan. I have here from Maspec. I don't know if they are allowed also to join later on. So, Madam Press of the Land Bank, Ma'am Borromeo, can we hear answer on the palm oil and the pineapple production of the cooperatives cases in Mindanao and Palawan?
I think we've answered that in our letter to Congressman Kanama, but I can mention it again to this body for those oil palm projects. of co-ops in Palawan, we've restructured these accounts and given them longer grace periods, extended tenors to enable the co-ops to pay the bank in an orderly fashion. And if I recall, we've restructured these accounts more than twice already. But again, if they are still not able to pay us, we are prepared to reconsider another round of loan restructuring. And we have also already adjusted downward the interest rate. So, Congressman, if you have access to these co-ops, or you can encourage them to submit again to our lending center in Palawan what they think would be the conditions and the terms that they can afford. That's the status of the loans of the co-ops doing oil palm plantation projects in Palawan. On the loan accounts of the oil palm co-ops in Mindanao area, we've reported to the office of Congressman Kanama, and I'm telling you again that the credit line of Mastec has been renewed. The loan accounts of Lamco and Santo Niño MPC have already been restructured at very concessional terms. So if you have other proposals or counter proposals, please let us know.
Mr. Chair, if may I?
Yeah, please proceed.
Yeah. Madam Pres, with regards to the restructuring during the discussions, I think the 10% interest rate on the with the situation right now and the restructuring terms being provided, I think that's not really a win-win situation. No? So that's why, based on our letter and the information gathered by the committee, so we are requesting this terms, no, and conditions, which I think the land bank has already a guide on how to do with this, no. But then, according to the particular co-ops which have been communicated that time, their interest rate as restructured is at 10%. So mataas yan, Madam President. Sana kung restructuring, ibang usapan. So at least we can help our co-ops there, dahil nabanggit kasi nila, nangyak-yak yung mga ang manager nila doon. Imagine mo, awardee yung co-op nila, tapos binigay itong program na to sa kanila, na masaya naman sila before dahil nga sa palm oil, tapos nagka-problema, nagka-calamity. So yun, siyempre, kung ano man ang liability nila with the bank, they are going to pay that. But then, they are really asking the consideration dahil malaki talaga ang exposure with financing with the land bank, na kahit ubusin nila yung asset nila doon. So they are willing naman, but then as what I have mentioned, they are really asking for i-win-win situations there, na sana kahit hindi muna yung interest, makundon yung interest, yung principal lang ang ayusin. So that's what mentioned in our letter, Madam President of the Land Bank.
Madam President, any response on that? Madam Pres, can you respond to the presenter?
Okay, yes, I don't recall receiving that letter, but if there's a counter proposal from the co-ops, Mr. Congressman, then I will, our lending center will evaluate the proposal of the co-op.
Thank you for your guidance in that.
Mr. Chair,
Congressman Chair.
Yes, my member in the committee, Mr. Chair, can we recognize?
So are you amenable before you? The next line is recognized.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Yes, sir. You are recognized.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would just like to follow through on some of the points raised by my colleague, Emon Espares. Well, firstly, on the first point, Madam President Cecil, aside from a possible partnership between land bank and the cooperative sector on the training side. We're actually looking at it also in terms of some cooperative federations acting as loan conduits for land bank. And this is particularly so with respect to some loans, let's say, provided by some of our government agencies like the Department of Agriculture, for the purpose of which land bank serves as a conduit. So in effect, we are offering that the cooperative federations also act as co-conduits of the land bank in providing loans, or I mean in extending loans to our primary cooperatives that are most in need of such loans. So that's the first point, Madam President. The other one has to do with the iRescue. This was extensively articulated on earlier by Congressman Lacson. And just to follow through also on some of the points that he raised, as a point of enlightenment for the group, is it at all possible, President Cecil, that interest rates have, in general, dropped? And if so, is it at all possible for Land Bank to reconsider reducing the interest rate, your interest rate as well, from the present 5% to 3% as we're requesting? Because if we think about it, if the interest rates have really dropped, that could possibly mean that the base rate to which credit factors, as you mentioned earlier, will apply, will be lower also. So those are some of the things that we would want to be enlightened on, President Cecil.
Madam President, any reaction on that?
Yes, Congressman. And the first, can the federations be conduits of the funds that are coming from the DA, for example? The simple answer is yes, but we will have to ask permission from the DA. So if you have any proposal, please write me, or write the Secretary of DA, because it's their fund and we administer the funds for them, but we get guidance from the DA. I hope I've clearly addressed or answered the question, Congressman. So
yeah,
if
the number two, the guy is talking of the possible rates adjustments.
Okay, the answer to, is it at all possible to reduce the 5% to 3%? The simple answer is yes, but we cannot fix it for 2 years. If the borrower is willing to take on variable interest rate that will be repriced every 90 days, we can use the current interest rate, which is usually, the benchmark rate is the BVAL, and add the spread that will compensate us for the risk that we are taking. And probably the 5% will be reduced. Kaya lang po, ang downside nun, as I've mentioned, we don't know where the interest rates will go 90 days from now. And then the next 90 days, and the next 90 days, until we reach December 2022. Because po, right now, we cannot fix 3% for the next 24 or 26 months. Because again po, we're using depositors' money for this program. It's different if there is a budgetary allocation with no cost to the bank, and then we can pass it on at very concessional rates to borrowers.
Thank you, Madam President. The chair.
Follow-up question, Congressman Chair. Follow-up question lang.
Last follow-up question.
Just one follow-up question. Again, for enlightenment, President Cecil, do I personally take it to mean that even the 5%, the existing 5% rate now, we cannot be assured that it's fixed?
No,
Because
it's fixed po. It's fixed. That's the concessionality of it. Regardless where the interest rates will go, it's fixed up to December 2022.
But in the same manner, if you if you sort of yield in to our request, can we possibly add on to our request that the reduced interest rate be fixed as well up to year 2022?
That's too much of a risk po, as I have been trying to explain. Fixing at 3% for the next 26 months is a risk that is too much for the bank to take.
Okay, thank you, President.
For that. I think your question is answered already
Yes,
by
Congressman, thank you.
the Madam President. So, shall we proceed again to the presenter? Do you have any queries to be heard, or are you done?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so we have, we understand the presentation, the answer of our Land Bank President, but then we are always appealing to really an active partner. So that's why even in the Bayanihan 2 right now, because we know for a fact that the fund being allocated by the government is mga 18 billion, and I don't know what is the plan and the program of Land Bank right now with regards to the cooperative. So that's why on the iRescue, we really appeal since then to really help, because this is the 2% reduction as mentioned by our Land Bank President, Ma'am Cecil, is a big help to the small cooperative. Malaki yung 2% na yan. Hindi natin maramdaman yan kung medyo malakas o malaki na yung organizations or the business. But then sa maliliit, malaking bagay yan, Ma'am Cecil, for us. So we hope na ma-consider. And then with regards to partnership, what we are always looking is that ay program, dahil pag binanggit natin na magbidding, parang ibang usapan. So that's why we are here in this forum, and we present really the output of the group for your consideration. Dahil pag program na yun, Mr. Chair, mawala na yung mga ganyang detail, that then we can encourage our cooperative to partner with Land Bank, and is also Land Bank with their task to promote and extend their help to the countryside. Otherwise, mapakinggan din natin, and when we are also concerned na marinig na si Land Bank hindi na masyado maramdaman sa countryside. So that's why we cooperatives are offering our position also to help Land Bank deliver this, especially to the small and the micro cooperative, and then that is in partnership with the federation. So that's our emphasis, Mr. Chair, on this forum. So we hope that our Land Bank would be a partner and a help to the cooperative and able really to fulfill our goal or mission on this development in the countryside. So that's all, Mr. Chair, unless otherwise the member of the committee, kung may urgent pa sila na hindi ko masyado na present, so they might be given time, Mr. Chair.
So may I ask of the cooperative leaders, if you have some questions related to the topic of the position paper as presented by the cooperative sector? Mayroon ba magtatanong pa?
From Maspec, I don't know if they are something to...
Sir, that's why I am asking to other cooperative leaders. Kasi sabi mo, tapos ka na. Sabi mo, baka may mga kasama ka pa na gusto magtatanong. That's why the chair entertain them if they have some other questions, para kasi ma-address kung anong gusto natin, may matapos tayo, at saka we make this time useful to all of us. So may magtatanong ba? So kung wala na, shall we proceed to the next agenda? Ano ba?
Yes, sir. I think there are no other questions, sir. So we would like to thank Ma'am Cecil Borromeo for gracing us today with her presence to answer the questions of the co-op sector. Thank you very much, ma'am. Kong Ebcas, next in the agenda is the BIR. They will present the revenue memorandum circular also on the issues raised by the cooperative sector, sir.
Thank you, Attorney. So, Madam President, you are now here. Excuse and thank you so much of your time and effort. And also to the presenter and others. The cooperative sector now is, are you now ready to present your position paper to be answered by the BIR? Please proceed.
Sir, there are the co-op sector has raised. Sir, may I present the issues? Thank you, sir. The co-op sector raised 5 issues for 5 issues to the Bureau of Internal Revenue, sir. The first issue that we raised is to amend RMC number 102/2016 by removing the requirement of the submission of the TINs of the cooperative members for the application of or the renewal, revalidation, the certificate of tax exemption. 2, to exempt the interest earned from the savings and time deposit accounts of members deposited and maintained in the respective cooperatives from the final withholding tax or any other tax. Third, to exempt all transactions of the members with their cooperative from documentary stamp tax. Fourth, to exempt the cooperatives as employers from the assessment on income tax. And the last, to exempt the cooperatives from the assessment of the 1% and 2% creditable withholding tax on isolated purchases of not more than 10,000 each for non-regular suppliers. Sir, from the BIR, we have Attorney Maria Luisa Belen, OIC, Assistant Commissioner for Assessment Services, Attorney Brianna K. De Los Santos, the Law Legislative Division, Attorney Raymond Ipio, Law Legislative Division, Ms. Montserrat Venus Aksalan, and Ms. Melanie Recania from the Audit Info Tax Exemption Incentives Division, sir. So if they are on board, sir, they have already submitted the draft of the Revenue Memorandum Circular, sir, but this has not yet been signed by Commissioner Dulay. So maybe with this presentation that is not yet been signed, maybe the co-op sector can react to the response of the BIR, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, and also the presence of the BIR. As mentioned a while ago to our by our secretariat, any person coming from cooperative sector with regards to the concerns of our issues and concerns. So, BIR, can you answer?
Sir,
Number one.
For the co-op sector, sir, we have Mr. Alex Roquepa of SACDECO.
So, si Alex Barito ang mag...
Yes, sir. He is a signatory for
ba siya para sa sagutin ng BIR?
He was on board earlier, sir.
Alex, are you now in? Are you around?
Sir, Sir Gary Leonardo, sir. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Si Alex.
Oo, sir.
Gary, are you around?
Yes, Kong Ebcas.
Thank you.
I'm still here.
Will you now proceed of the issues and concerns so that the BIR can respond to our issues and concerns, please?
Yes, Congressman Ebcas. The 5 issues that were mentioned by Attorney Mariel, those are the very same issues that we raised at the Joint Congressional Committee. I think a couple of about a month ago, and we're just awaiting for the response coming from from BIR. I'm actually hoping that Attorney Belen and Attorney De Los Santos would already have the said response that was promised by Attorney
Brianna, sir.
No, it's
Barcelo, sir. Attorney
Attorney Barcelo during the JCOCC meeting called for by Senator Miggs and Kong Ben.
Okay, thank you. BIR, may we hear your response with the issues and concerns raised by the cooperative sector? Anybody will answer the question, please? Sino ba ang sasagot sa BIR? Wala ba magsalita sa kanila? Kailangan ko ba banggitin pangalan? Hindi ko. Attorney Mariel, sino bang sasagot dyan sa BIR?
Sir, si Attorney Brianna is on board, sir, but hindi siya maka-unmute. Daryl, please unmute Attorney Brianna. Sir, ito na po yung memorandum circular, sir, na pinresent na sinabit ng BIR. Sir Gary, ito na yung RMC na sinasabi. We were not able to furnish you a copy of this yet because this was only given this morning, sir.
Yeah, pero ang BIR ba hindi magsalita, mag-expound ito sa
Sir,
sinasabi?
hindi ho. Si Attorney Brianna is asking to be unmuted, sir. Daryl, please unmute Attorney Brianna.
Yes, Attorney, you are now recognized. Na-mute na ba siya?
Nandyan siya, sir. Hindi daw ma-unmute, sir.
Sino bang sasagot sa atin ito?
Siya pa rin, sir. Hindi lang ma-unmute po.
Hintayin ba natin siya?
Siguro, sir. I don't know.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
while
sir.
waiting for Mr. Chair, while waiting for the BIR, may we run down the issues to them? I'm from the Philippine Cooperative Center, Mr. Chair, Congressman Ebcas.
Yeah, so you have a copy of that. Sabi mo, i-round down. Mababasa mo ba?
Mababasa ko po, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead. May gusto ka bang sabihin?
Okay, Mr. Chair.
Discuss natin while waiting from
Yes,
the
sir.
BIR?
Yes, sir. These are the issues submitted to the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Number one is to amend the Revenue Memorandum Circular 102-2016 by removing the requirement regarding the submission of the teams of the cooperative members for the application for or renewal, revalidation of certificate of tax exemption. Number two, Mr. Chair Abkas, to recognize and affirm the tax exemption of cooperatives as expressly indicated in Article 60 and 61 of Republic Act 9520, specifically but not limited to recent cases relating to the following: exemptions from the final withholding tax or any other tax of the interest earned by members from the savings and time deposits account that they maintain in the respective cooperatives. Letter B, exemption from the documentary stamp tax of all transactions of members with their respective cooperatives. Letter C, exemption from any assessment of income tax of cooperatives as employers. And letter D, exemption of cooperatives from the assessment of the 1% and 2% creditable withholding tax on isolated purchases of not more than 10,000 each from non-regular suppliers. Those were the issues, Mr. Chair, Congressman Ebcas, that were submitted to the Bureau of Internal Revenue.
Mr. Chair,
Thank you.
yes, si Sir Edwin from the Philippine Co-op Center has reiterated the 5 issues, sir. Attorney Brianna is now on board, sir. Na-unmute na siya finally, sir.
Attorney, are you now in?
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much.
Apologize po, I cannot unmute myself earlier po. With respect to the BIR, we already have drafted the Revenue Memorandum Circular and it is now being routed po for the signature of the Commissioner. The cooperative sector submitted 5 questions.
Attorney, may I interrupt you? Mahina ang dating mo. Pwede mo ba lapitan sa microphone yung ano mo?
Marinig na po, Mr. Chair.
Little, marinig ka na.
Sige po. The BIR already drafted the Revenue Memorandum Circular for the signature of the Commissioner. The cooperative sector submitted 5 questions, but in the conduct of our technical working group, we collated all the issues and concerns that were raised, and we decided that we will answer all those issues in this Revenue Memorandum Circular. And in this Revenue Memorandum Circular, we have answered 15 questions po. Bali 15 po lahat, in addition po sa 5. Bali may dinagdag po kaming 10. So, sinagot na po namin yun, Mr. Chair, yung mga tanong na issue at ng mga cooperative sector po.
Okay, thank you. Are you through, Attorney?
Yes po, Mr. Chair. We already submitted to the committee po the draft RMC, and if it is signed by the Commissioner, we will publish it in our website.
May we hear from the cooperative sector in response to the BIR's letter?
Kong Chair?
Yes.
Can we possibly request Attorney Brianna to at least give us some general ideas as to how they responded to each of the 5 issues that we raised? Because we haven't really gotten a copy yet of the draft of the memorandum.
Mr. Chair, Attorney Mariel, I am now screen sharing the RMC of BIR. Nakikita po ba ng lahat? Sir Gary, nakikita mo?
Yes.
Ayan, na-screen share ko na po. Attorney Brian, na-screen share ko na po.
Yes po, ma'am po. Okay, answer ko na lang po muna ma'am, yung mga...
Tapos ka na ba?
Will I answer na lang po muna yung 5 issues that were raised, or we will run through the RMC? What do you prefer po?
Run through the RMC.
Run through the RMC na, Attorney.
Okay, we'll run through po. The first question that are frequently raised po are what are the requirements for securing the certificate of tax exemption? So under this Revenue Memorandum Circular, we answered and we distinguish what are the requirements for new application as well as for the renewal of the tax exemption. So paki-run down na lang po yung yung RMC. So this was just a reiteration of RMO 76/2010. So I'm sure everybody is familiar naman po. Next question po, what are the obligations of cooperatives with duties?
Before you will proceed to the next question, so may I hear from the cooperative sector? May mga tanong pa ba kayo sa first question?
Do we take it to mean then, Attorney, that our first request has not been granted?
Sir, the questions that were raised, sir, was answered in this Revenue Memorandum Circular. But this is just for presentation purposes po on how we, paano namin po na-resolve yung mga issues po. So isa-isahin po natin.
Oh, okay.
So okay, wala na pong question sa question number 1.
Renewal
wala na ba tayong tanong sa number 1 issues and concern natin? Before we'll go to number 2 issues? Attorney, sa tingin ko hindi naman nagsasalita.
Mr. Chair.
Please proceed to number 2 issues and concern.
Okay po.
Mr. Chair, would like to quickly comment.
Yes po.
Opo.
Are you asking a floor?
Based on the first issue, Mr. Chair, Congressman
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
Attorney Rihanna, I think the the sector's issue in this concern is about the requirement of the teens, because as far as the consultations are made by the those technical working groups consultations and nationwide, the issue is really the teen requirement. So
Chair,
based on this,
Sir, we will
Chair,
answer
may
that
I be
later po.
recognized? Mr. Chair, may I be recognized? The number one,
that's the only
the number one issue raised by the co-op sector, sir, is on question number 3. So if we will just go through with the RMC, then I think the BIR did not answer the issues raised by the co-op sector in accordance with their presentation, sir. So question number 1, the issue number 1 of the BIR is answered under question number 3 po. Apparently, sir, kasi wala silang copy, so they have not yet read this. We were waiting for it to be signed, so it was not submitted to us until this morning. So that's why we are screen sharing it po. Ito po yung question, ang question na, ang issue number 1 ng co-op sector. Ito na po yung, in case of the teens of the members, ito na po yung question, issue number 1. So if you can go through all the questions from the start, so maybe we will have an overview of the response of the BIR, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, proceed please.
Mr. Chair, the BIR has already answered the question, but for presentation purposes po, all those questions were answered in hindi po in that order. This is only for presentation purposes. Sir Edwin, we will answer the teen issue later on. So for question,
may we hear from cooperative sector sa sagot galing sa BIR?
Can we, Chair, can we possibly have a more direct answer from Attorney Brianna for each of the, at least for each of the 5 issues?
Okay, sir, I clarified earlier if we will run through po the RMC and you said yes po. So if you wish that we will answer directly na lang po the issues that were raised, then we will not run through po.
Yes, please.
Never mind running through.
5 issues, yung 5
okay.
issues.
For the issue with teen, we answered the issue on teen on questions number 3 and questions number 4. Can we show po questions number 3 and question number 4? The issue on teen requirement for the removal of teen, we apologize. The BIR cannot remove the teen requirement because the legal basis for the requirement of teen is found under Section 236I of the NIRC as amended and Revenue Regulation 7 2012 that any person required to make, render, or file return, statement, or document shall be supplied with or assigned a teen for proper identification for tax purposes. Sinagot na rin po namin yan yung issue na sa number 3 po, anong mangyayari kung walang teen si members? Upon filing na CTE, will it prevent the issuance of the CTE kung walang teen si members? Ang sagot namin, no. If the teens of the cooperative members cannot be supplied because they are not yet available at the time of application for CTE, the concerned office shall nonetheless allow the processing and issuance revalidation of CTEs of qualified co-op, provided that in lieu thereof, the cooperative shall submit an original copy of certification under oath of the list of cooperative members. So, kailangan pa rin po yung teen. And within 6 months from the issuance of CTE, kailangan mag-submit ng teen ng members. Ano po yung effect ng non-submission of teen? Within 6 months, It will be a ground for revocation if the non-submission of tin is without justifiable reason. So, ang sinasabi po namin, ang kailangan naman po, sino magsisecure ng tin? Only those that are active members. So, sino naman yung inactive members? Ang inactive members naman po are, as defined by the CDA, was answered in question number 6. So, sino kailangan na ng tin? Question number 5 will answer. How will the cooperative assess paano mag-secure ng tin sa active members? And question number 6, who are inactive members? But please take note that under question number 7, wala pong forever na inactive. As long as an inactive member transacts business, patronizes, or participates with activities of the cooperatives, and his whereabouts are known, the cooperative shall apply for the tin of such member. Mare-revert po siya sa active member status at kailangan naman po kumuha si cooperative ng tin ni active member. So clear na po tayo?
Maybe here from cooperative sector, ano yung comments nyo sa sagot ni attorney?
Mr. Chair?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. We will reserve our right to reply on the proposed answer or memorandum circular, the BIR. I think, Mr. Chair, there are justifications mentioned and stated in the letter. The cooperative sector that should be recognized and respected by BIR. So probably, Mr. Chair, we just like to hear the presentation, listen to the presentation of the BIR. I would like to ask for a copy of that so we can comment on it judiciously, Mr. Chair.
Yung comments na cooperative sector, may reservation sila sa mga pending doon sa final submission sa RMC, yung ba yun?
Yes, Mr. Chair, because I think already submitted our issues and concerns and the proposed actions. However, there are items not in accordance with the cooperative vision, and that was also in the joint
this
oversight
other persons
on cooperatives.
Para hindi sila marinig.
We requested the JCOCC to look into the implementation of the tax exemptions on cooperatives by the BI. So pending, sir, the copy. We will reserve our comments on issues that are contentious on items we mentioned on the letter, Mr. Chair. Congressman Edgas.
Thank you. Matanong ko lang sa BIR, kasi yung sagot nyo negative or disapprove or deny sa request ng cooperative sector. May mga paraan ba na paano mo sila matutulungan? Na ang dating naman na both agencies, tayo, BIR at saka sa cooperatives, nagtutulungan kasi yun ang hinahanap natin, no? Na masolusyonan yung mga bagay na kailangan natin ma-address. Now, sabi mo, negative based on the request. Wala pang paraan na matulungan sila na mabigyan niyo ng yung approval?
Kasi po, sir, the TIN requirement is a requirement pursuant to the tax code po under section 236I of the National Internal Revenue Code. So may basis po talaga tayo, sir, na i-require po yung ano, yung tin ng members.
Andyan na nga
Kasi-
ako sa punto na yan. Andyan na nga ako sa punto na yan. Otherwise, kami sa committee, mag-file kami ng bill na itong gagawin namin. Pero ngayon, dito nga natin na pag-uusapan, just lending our hand, how we can help from one agency to another agency. So, yun nga ang punto ko na gusto ko lang ma-raise, no, being presiding officer, na ito yung iniingi ng cooperative sector. Ito yung sabi nyo. So wala bang paraan na win-win na mako-comply? Hindi naman nalilabag natin yung batas. BIR? May iba bang paraan na matulungan itong cooperative sa hiningi nila? Attorney, narinig mo ba ako?
Attorney Brianna, naka-mute po kayo. Ay, hindi siya ano.
Attorney Mariel, naka-mute ba si BIR?
Oo, sir. Hindi siya nakaka-unmute by herself kasi sa ano, sa sa host, sir. Daryl, paki-unmute si Attorney Brianna, please. Daryl. Daryl, paki-unmute po.
Okay na ba, Attorney Mariel? Hindi
Oh, sir,
pa?
I'm trying to call the host, sir, sa office nila ni Kong Kanama. Hindi ho nako-contact, sir.
Cooperative sector, tama ba yung appeal natin sa BIR na baka naman mabigyan ng paraan? Hindi lang kay ba isa-cite tayo na itong batas, blah, blah, blah. We know already the law. Nandyan na yan. Cooperative sector, may ano ba tayo? Ibabalik sa kanila?
Mr. Chair?
Ayan na.
Mr. Chair?
Attorney,
it is beyond the power of the commissioner po since
Attorney,
Mr. Chair?
Yeah, marinig ba ako?
Yes po.
Yeah.
It is beyond po the power of the commission. It is beyond the power po. Sir, the BIR is only an implementing agency po and it is beyond their power to remove the TIN requirement. So as a workaround procedure po, yun na lang po yung ginawa namin na yung mga inactive po, hindi na po sila i-require ng TIN. Only those that are active members because po yun for proper tax identification purposes, yun po ang nag-identify na member po siya ng cooperative.
Yeah, naintindihan ko yung mga sinasabi mo. Ang sa side ko lang, na baka may mga paraan ba na matutulungan natin sila na
beyond our power,
no?
Beyond our powers, sir, na po, yun na lang po yung masuggest namin within our power is to distinguish inactive between active member. Kasi po nag-i-implement lang po kami ng section 236I ng tax code po. So, wala naman pong specific exemption.
Cooperative sector, ano ba yung ano nyo?
Chair?
May ano ba tayo ma-expound na explanation kay attorney sa BIR?
Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
There's a comment here on the chat coming from Shelo of San Dionisio Credit Cooperative. She says, for the renewal of CTE, TIN is not a requirement. Thus, BIR shall not be asked or should not be asking for it. Could you clarify, Attorney Brianna?
Again po, sir?
For the renewal. Yeah, for the renewal of CTE, TIN is not a requirement. Thus, BIR should not be asking for it.
But there is a requirement to submit, sir. So hindi siya nga for renewal, pero may requirement to submit po the TIN. Kasi po we distinguish po because the tax exemption granted under the RA 9520 dalawa po between members and non-members. So how do we identify that such person is a member? It is through the issuance of TIN, registration of TIN, para ma-identify po natin na member siya. Otherwise, we will consider it as a non-member. Kaya po, ang workaround po talaga natin is i-identify po sino ang active at inactive. Kasi po, kailangan po rin po namin yan for tax administration purposes. Otherwise, if we will remove it, there is no more distinction between those transacting with members and non-members.
But that's precisely, Attorney, that's precisely why we're suggesting that in lieu of the TIN required for each individual member, we will be, each cooperative will be submitting the original copy of the certification under oath of the list of cooperative members.
Yes, sir.
Will that not suffice?
Sir, we are allowing only that. Kasi we already relaxed the registration of TIN, so we do not understand why it's so hard po na mag-comply niyan, considering that we also already allowed the distinction between active and inactive. For tax administration purposes po, that is our only identification that such individual is a member of the cooperative.
Well, yeah, but anyway, as mentioned earlier by our CEO of PCC, maybe we'll just go over this.
Yes po.
Our copy of the RMC.
We are begging indulgence po. We are also performing our tax administration duties po.
Okay. We appreciate that, Attorney. We appreciate that.
Yes po.
Shall we proceed to the next two questions? May natira pa bang tanong? Issues and concern na hindi pa nasagot sa BIR?
Yes po, Mr. Chair. For question number 2, it was answered in question number 8. What is the prevailing rule on exemption of interest earned from the savings and time deposit accounts of members of the cooperative engaged in lending? So, interest income earned from the savings and time deposit accounts of members of cooperative engaged in lending are exempt. Because po under RA 9520, Article 60 and 61 provides that transactions of members with the cooperative shall not be subject to any taxes and fees. So, okay na po tayo? Exempt po ang sagot namin.
Okay.
Cooperative sector, ano bang response nyo dyan sa sagot sa BIR? Okay na ba tayo niyan?
Mr. Chair, that's a very clear explanation.
Yes.
Thank you. So,
we're okay with that.
The next issues and concern?
Our next issue is on the documentary stamp tax. What is the prevailing rule on the exemption from documentary stamp tax? It was answered in question number 9. Transactions between cooperative and its members are not subject to documentary stamp tax. Both the cooperative and its members are not liable to pay DST on these transactions, pursuant to Article 60 and 61 of RA 9520 that provides the transactions of members with the cooperatives shall not be subject to any taxes, including but not limited to final taxes on members' deposits and documentary tax. This is reiterated in Section 7 of the Joint IRR, stating that duly registered cooperative dealing transacting business with members only shall be exempt from paying any taxes, including documentary tax. Finally, Section 11 of Joint IRR states that all members of the cooperative shall be liable to pay all necessary internal revenue taxes as under NIRC as amended, except documentary tax on transactions of members with a cooperative. So okay na po, exempt po sa DST ang transaction ng members.
So, cooperative sector, any comments for that?
We will not argue with that, Kong Chair.
Sige. So shall we proceed to the next issues?
Okay, for question number 4, to exempt the cooperatives as employer from assessment and income tax, it was answered in question number 10. Are statutory contributions made by the cooperatives as employer excluded from gross income? The answer is yes. Contributions made cooperative as the employer's share to GSIS, SSS, Medicare, and Pag-ibig contributions are excluded from the gross income and claimed as an allowable deduction under Section 34A 1A of the NIRC as amended. Sorry. So, okay na po?
Cooperative sector, any comments? I think, attorney, okay siguro, wala naman sumasagot.
We're happy with that, Kong Chair.
That's why I asked you every time the BIR responded to us para hindi na tayo palit-ulit pa sa mga tanong natin at saka everything is clarified to us. So mayroon pa ba tayong tanong, issues and concerns sa BIR o wala na?
May isa pa po, Mr. Chair.
Yes,
Sagutin ko
may
na yung last.
proceed.
And the last issue raised was to exempt the cooperatives from the assessment of the 1% and 2% creditable withholding tax on isolated purchases of not more than 10,000 each from non-regular suppliers. This is answered in question number 11, which states that, is the cooperative exempt from the assessment of the 1% and 2% creditable withholding tax on isolated purchases of not more than 10,000 each from non-regular suppliers? The answer is yes. The cooperative is exempt from the assessment of 1% and 2% creditable withholding tax, provided that it is not considered as a top withholding agent. However, if the cooperative is considered as a top withholding agent, all purchases made with its
Attorney, nawala ka. Attorney, BIR, naputol-putol ka, nawala ka sa linya.
Or exercise of profession, exempt si cooperative if it is not considered a top withholding agent. Exempt siya sa 1% and 2%. But if the cooperative is a top withholding agent, liable po siya sa 1% and 2% from its regular suppliers or any transactions of more than 10,000 pesos. Sino naman po ang regular suppliers? Sila yung mga supplier na nagtatransact si cooperative with at least 6 transactions regardless of the amount. So clear na po tayo?
Ma'am, ano po yung ibig sabihin ng top withholding agent?
Top withholding, yes.
Yeah. And what does it mean?
Nagka-classify po ang nagka-classify po ang BIR ng mga top withholding agents pursuant po sa Section 2.57.2A. So, sinusulatan po ng BIR at kino-classify po kayo as top withholding agent. Paano mga criteria?
But yes, what are the rules, attorney?
Pinapublish po namin yan.
But there should be some rules for any one entity to be considered a top withholding agent, Attorney Brianna.
Anong criteria? We will check on the criteria po, sir. Section 2 of RR 11 2018, the RDO identifies who are the top withholding agents. So, paano nyo malalaman na top withholding agent kayo? Susulatan kayo ni BIR or ipapublish niya po.
Attorney, can you communicate to the cooperative sector sino yung mga top withholding agent para alam nila?
Paano ma'am mag-identify ng top withholding agent?
Attorney?
We will go back into that, Mr. Chair. We will check first on how the revenue district officers identify the top withholding agents.
Yeah, at saka pwede mo ba nasulatan nyo sila tapos i-inform din ito yung criteria para alam nila?
Yes po, sir.
Thank you.
Nagli-letter po talaga si BIR if you are classified as top withholding agent, and it is also published on who are the top withholding agents.
So, Mr. Chair, it means that if a co-op is selected as a top withholding agent, the co-op's privileges on question number 11 is removed. It's not an academic; it is removed.
Mr. Chair, the cooperatives is only considered as a withholding agent. Who is liable rin po is your suppliers po.
So hindi yung cooperative sector.
Yes po, di ba po kasi kino-consider ka lang na withholding agent ng 1% and 2%. So you have the obligation to withhold 1% or 2%, 1% for sales, for goods, and 2% for services sa mga suppliers nyo. Ang nagbabayad naman po niyan ang suppliers, hindi po si cooperative. Withholding agent lang po. So wala pong privilege na kinukuha sa cooperative.
So walang burden sa cooperative, but rather
yes po, Mr. Chair.
Holding, i-remit doon sa BIR. Tama po ba?
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
So any comments from the cooperative?
Yeah.
Clarified na ba ang issues and concerns?
Yes. We can proceed to the next, Mr. Chair, please.
Who's the last?
So that's all, Mr. Chair.
The issues and concerns are answered by the BIR. Pero BIR, may sinasabi ka pa na other than the 5 issues and concerns, may 10 ka pang dinagdag. Pwede ba namin malaman kung ano yon?
Ito po, yun lang po yung mga ito kasi 'di ba Mr. Chair, paano magiging papasok sa criteria na masasubject sa audit. Nilagay na po namin yan dito. It is part of the BIR's audit program po. That a cooperative, can we please be subjected to audit, and this was also included under section 6A of the train law, which allows the commissioner to audit cooperatives even without written authorization from the CDA. So sino po naka-priority for audit? Those with undivided net savings of more than 10 million shall be prioritized for audit. And those, next po, pwede po pababa. Those with income not related to the main or principal business. Another question we answered po, kasi we always, sa mga TWG conduct natin, napansin po namin, the cooperatives are nagpapanik po pag nakatanggap ng mga preliminary assessment notice, formal letter demand, fund. So, we laid down what the cooperative should do in case makatanggap po sila. So, we laid down what are the remedies available. So, pag nakatanggap po ng fund, preliminary assessment notice, the cooperatives have 15 days to respond to it. Otherwise, it will be considered default. Paano naman kung nakatanggap kayo ng FLD, formal letter demand or final assessment notice? It has a period of 30 days to protest. Paano naman if nakatanggap kayo ng FDDA, final decision on disputed assessment? Ito po yung nag-protest ka na, nag-decide na si BIR. You can file an appeal to the CTA or protest by filing a request for reconsideration with the commissioner. So ito po yung mga pwedeng magawa ng mga cooperatives in case. Kasi po napansin po namin, ang mga cooperatives usually nagre-resort agad sa TWG. May mga remedies available granted by law po ang cooperatives. Yan po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much. May I ask of the cooperative sector kung may mga tanong pa ba kayo other than the 5 issues and concerns so that we can make good use of our time with the BIR?
The Chair.
Yes?
Thank you very much, Chair Ebgas. Thank you very much sa committee. In behalf of the Philippine Cooperative Center and the Technical Working Group, sila Chair Alex Raquepo at iba pa. I think there are some issues na we need to discuss among ourselves again, particularly on the reply of BIR regarding the TIN requirement. But practically, yung mga issues pong na-submit natin, Mr. Chair, ay na-address naman ng BIR. Except nga lang dun sa nabanggit namin kanina. So, moving forward, Mr. Chair, if this will be signed by Commissioner Dulay and will be given copies to the cooperative sector and to your committee, Mr. Chair, I would like to sit down with the BIR, particularly on the implementation of those items that were discussed for clarification and leveling off of the proposed revenue memorandum circular that are being questioned by the cooperative. For those that is being questioned, I'm sure Attorney Briana, Assistant Commissioner Malubelen, and Assistant Commissioner Larry Barcelo will understand us in our position regarding the TIN requirement. So that's so far I can comment, Mr. Chair. I think Chair Gary will add on.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, Gary, please proceed.
Yes, Kong Chair. We're happy with the BIR's response to the issues that we raised, except of course for that first issue. And as mentioned by our CEO Edwin, we're in the same TWG anyway. There's a TWG created for this purpose, and we find Attorney Briana and Ms. Belen, Attorney Belen, and Attorney, I keep forgetting his name, Barcelo. We'd like to thank you all for the positive response that you've given the sector.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Kong Chair, may I also talk? This is Alex, Kong Chair. At last, I am unmuted. Yeah. We would also like to, in behalf of the co-op not parties and the whole co-op sector probably, we would like to thank BIR because the withholding tax issue and the DST issue are now put to rest. And may they rest in peace, this withholding tax and DST issues. This has been bothering most of the co-ops for quite some time. Tama-tama, araw na mga patay by November 1st. And malilibig na itong withholding tax and DST. Thank you to BIR and the rest is history. Thank you. Thank you, Kong Epcas. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, but please bear in mind, there's no such thing as permanent in this world, but change. Tomorrow, next month, next year. Ang batas kasi pabago-bago. So whatever that we can help to our people by changing the rules, changing the laws, we will do it. Kasi dyan tayo maging matatag at saka magprogreso.
Yeah. Thank you, Kong, for that
you.
reminder. But for as long as you will exclude co-ops in the remaining tax swap purposes that you will have in Congress. Thank you again, Kong.
Yeah, we will take our chances all the times. Basta democratic lang yung approach, pag-uusapan. Kasi dito makukuha natin yung yung matibay na progreso sa atin. Na may proseso tayo, nag-uusap. Kung anong para sa atin, sa lahat na makatulong, din gagawin natin. We are there for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Kong, very much.
So, any last parting words sa BIR?
Mr. Chair, in behalf of Commissioner Dulay, Assistant Commissioner Maria Luisa Belen, and Assistant Commissioner Larry Barcelo, we hope that we have already answered the issues raised by the cooperatives. And we sincerely apologize that we are only implementing the law on the TIN requirement po. So, that's all po. Thank you very much po.
There's no need to apologize, Attorney Briana. Our only problem lies on the micro and small co-ops on how could we help them. Yung kaming mga malalaking co-op, walang problema kung ang mga
Thank you
problema
so
talaga
much,
sa
both of
micro.
you guys. No?
Thank you
But
po,
as
Mr.
I mentioned earlier, we don't want to break the rules. But if possible to have a win-win, we can bend the rules. But not breaking by the way. Para a win-win ang situation. But anyway, thank you so much of your time. So, Attorney Mariel, so we proceed to our next agenda.
Yes, sir. It's already 12. I'm not sure if CDA is still on board, sir. The third item in our agenda is the presentation by the CDA of the IRR, which has been published already, as certified by the National Printing Authority. So, sir, can you please recognize CDA? I don't know. I have not seen Chairman Ravanera, but ED Ray Elevaso is on board and Attorney Robles, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Attorney Mariel. Since our topic now is IRR of the new CDA law, so any resource person from the CDA can apprise us?
Sir, si ED Ray Elevaso, sir.
ED Ray Alabasa, are you there? Hello?
Ito po yun. Baka nag-out sila.
Sino ng resource person natin?
Sir,
Attorney Eric Robles still here, sir.
Si Attorney Eric, sir.
Attorney Eric, can you apprise us?
Okay, I will just continue with our presentation a while ago. So I'll just can I ask to
Eric, it's already on share screen. Do you see it now?
okay.
Kita mo? Is it there?
Sandali po, mama. Yung email po yung naka-post po. Yung email mo.
Wait lang, sir. Wait, i-out ko na lang lahat. Hindi ako maka-stop share. Daryl, mag-share screen ako. Wait lang, sir, ha?
Yeah.
Hindi ko makita. Lumabas na, Attorney Eric?
Attorney Mayor, wala pa. Yung email mo, inbox mo pa rin yung naka-post sa...
Bakit?
Ayan, wala na po.
Wala na.
Okay.
Attorney Mayal, ako ba mag-present nung yung mag-share ng...
Ikaw na lang kaya. Hindi
Sige.
ko mahanap eh. Nabulgar na yung tuloy ang emails ko.
Covered ka ng data privacy.
Sige, ikaw na lang sa Attorney Eric.
Sige po, subukan ko po.
May nakalagay na nangyari dito.
Nakikita niyo po?
Yeah, pero may nakikita kang superimpose na screen sharing has stopped. Is it there? Naka-over siya sa Ibaba mo na lang daw yung yung document, Eric, para sa baba. Kasi hindi siya nakikita eh.
Okay.
Ano nangyari dito?
Ganyan talaga pagka technical. Clear na po ba yung presentation? Nakikita na po ba?
Nakita ko rito, Tony, Rule 3.
Rule 3 po.
Okay. Readable po ba? Readable? I hope readable po siya. Okay. Just to continue with the presentation a while ago, so we stop with the recommendations and motions by some of our honorable congressmen with regards to the proposed possible amendment of the IRR. Yun nga po, as I said, it's already been published and it will be effective tomorrow, the IRR. And we'll try to, I will submit to our board yung mga motions and recommendations.
Dili lagi na ako.
To the board and the board yung recommendations and motions of the honorable congressman. Okay. So aside from the 6 board of directors that will be appointed, 7 including the chairperson, there will be 2 ex officio members, which is the secretary of the DTI and the secretary of the DILG. But of course, the secretary could appoint an alternate or designate an alternate, permanent alternate to the board, not lower than the rank of assistant secretary. Okay, so it is also required that at least one of the members of the board, as far as practicable, there shall be at least one lawyer member of the board. Saka there must be a gender balance. So there are about 6. Currently, there are 6 male board members and 1 female board director do sa CDA. And of course, for the ex officio members, they could participate during the deliberation. However, they don't have the voting rights for the ex officio members of the board of directors of CDA. They are also entitled to their paradigms and as may be determined by the DBM.
Attorney, clarifications ko lang dito.
Yes po.
Under the law sa 11364, silent yung batas with regards to the ex officio members.
Yes, sir.
Sa voting rights. Bakit dito sa IRR, wala silang voting rights?
This was the proposed during the consultation. I think I just don't know kung somebody raised.
Okay. Ang IRR kasi, pwede natin yan gagawin provided na hindi tayo salungat doon sa 11364, yung batas natin. Now, ulitin ko, dito sa batas natin sa 11364, silent na yung board members, yung ex officio members have no voting rights. Pero dito sa IIR, naglalagay tayo. So, ba't hindi sila ipareha? Since silent naman yung batas.
Yes, sir. That was a very good observation, Congressman. I will going to raise that to our board.
Unless otherwise, ang batas nagsasabi. Wala ang sinasabi na batas, silent lang eh.
Yes po.
So ngayon, tomorrow, itong IR maging effectivity na, ano bang gagawin natin? Anyway, nakikita ko lang dito ha. Yun ang sabi kanina ng former congressman natin na dito sa Oversight Committee. So parang informasyon na lang ito. Kasi yun nga, na-publish na din tomorrow ng effectivity. Pero at least yun nakita ko ng observation.
Yes, sir. Yung mga po, we are advised that we're going to present for the information of everybody yung ating implementing rules and regulation, considering that it was already been published in the official gazette.
Sige, please proceed.
Okay. So the functions, powers and functions, ito naman po ay provided with under the RA 11364. So kinopya po lang natin yung powers and functions of the board. So formulate policies, rules, regulations consistent with the RA 11364, 9520, and 10744. Then adopt implementing rules and regulations for the conduct of the internal operation of the authority, organize the operating structure, approve the works and financial plan of the authority, approve annual and medium-term, long-term cooperative development plans, must be consistent with the socio-economic development policy of the national government. So provide overall directions on the authority. I believe this is all provided, sir, within the Republic Act 11364. So kinapipis lang po natin ito. And then qualifications, ito po yung qualifications ng ating chairperson and members of the board. So it is also provided by the 11364. Wala po naman po na idagdag na provision dito sa qualifications. Okay. Term of office, of course, 6 years without reappointment.
Attorney?
Yes, sir. Yes, Congressman.
Talking doon, sabi mo sa qualifications, napasok lang sa isipan ko ito yung again sa pag-appoint ng nominee. Kasi, di ba, each sector, sila na mag-i-endorse, tapos direct na kay Presidente. So, nobody screens, no? Kung ito ba ang in-endorse is a member of a cooperative, kung member man siya, is he a good standing member? Or wala ba siyang mga yung kasalanan or nagawang yung mga labag sa batas sa cooperative? As if lang nasasabihin lang kunwari sa water na itong nominee namin. Pwede ba yun? Kasi you are talking here of the qualifications sa yung sa board, anong requirements. So naibalik lang ako doon, nag-reflect lang.
Yes, Congressman. I believe meron pong screening process ang presidential management staff with regards to the qualifications of all appointed board of directors. I believe
hindi magagaling dito sa sektor? Doon magagaling sa Malacanang?
Yes, as per the law, I think it is incumbent on the cooperative sector. Ang intention ng law is it gives the liberal it is incumbent upon the co-op sector to provide their nominees sa presidential management staff. At ang presidential management staff will screen all the nominees to kung nag-comply sila with the requirement of the law as to the minimum qualifications as provided by 11364. So sila na po ang nagiging screening committee with regards to the nominees to be appointed as board of directors.
Kasi ang komentaryo ko yan, tiresome sa Malacanang, sa presidential to check everything. At least otherwise, dito sa nomination sa baba pa lang, may mga requirements na. So pagdating doon sa presidential, validating na lang. I-check na lang nila. Kasi sabi mo rito, parang sila pa mag-verify kung is this a member of the cooperative na ninominate? Is this a good standing member? Is he a good standing member of the cooperative? Baliktad yata . But anyway, sounds not familiar of this process. Nakikita ko lang yun. Kaysa iba na ginagawa ng mga government agencies na kung mag-nominate tayo sa tao, he is a cooperative member. Then, he is a good standing member. Then, wala siyang batas na linabag. Oo. Kung i-open lang at the pleasure lang of the sector na i-nominate, I do not know. At least you heard something about me in that wisdom.
Yes, sir. Noted po yung mga comment po ninyo. Siguro naman ang presidential management staff has their competencies to check on verify the qualifications of the nominees according to the law, Republic Act 11364.
Yeah,
And the
but
procedure.
something on the process, something is wrong kasi sila pa mag-check, sila pa mag-verify, sila pa mag parang are they a rightful agency or body to do this process? I don't think so. But anyway, ay wala eh. Sa pag-intindi ko sa mga sagot nyo, wala. Pero may posibilidad na somebody will stand to our advocacy as a movement, not a member of the cooperative, then he's not a good standing person. Ay, medyo alanganin, hindi magandang pakinggan. Sana dito pa lang sa inyo, sa cooperative, sa CDA, bago yan makarating kay Presidente o Presidente, pumasa na ito lahat sa mga requirements. Pipili ka na lang kung sino dyan yung ilalagay natin. Ayun ang magandang proseso. Nakasiguro tayo that that guy, his heart, his mind, no, talagang nasa atin. Cooperative man, in other words.
Yes. I understand, Your Honor. But hindi kasi provided ng 11364 as to yung process ng nomination na manggaling sa CDA yung i-verify pa sa CDA yung mga nominees for the board of directors. Maybe we could ask the sector, baka meron silang mga ni-nominate sa Office of the President to be appointed as the board of directors. Baka
pero supplemental na lang yan nyo sa mga memorandum eh. Sa mga sektor na dapat kung sinong inominin nyo, yun na yun. Oo, manggagaling sa inyo. Manggagaling yan sa inyo. So, that's, I think, a memorandum or circular. Depende yan sa inyo. Oo. Kasi putting somebody else na hindi man lang cooperative man, will you agree on that? Ano bang pagpaglaban niya? Anong advocacy? Anong movement? So yun lang nakikita ko. Observation.
Sir, we were going to raise that with our current board. Yung possibility of coming up with guidelines kung within our competencies and within our jurisdiction to formulate such kind of guidelines as to the nomination process of possible members of the board of directors of the CDA. So we will review, sir, we will study it, and we will come up with a formal comment or opinion to be submitted to the honorable congressmen of to the committee of the cooperative. We will do that, sir. We will make an official.
Please proceed.
Okay, po. Yes, sir. And of course, the term of the office for the board of directors would be 6 years without reappointment. The chairperson or members of the board who have served the unfinished term of the one he succeed has to serve at least 1/2 of the term. Ito po provided din po naman po ito ng ating batas, yung term of office. Yung removal, of course, the chairperson and members may be removed by from the office for cause. Of course, by the office of the president. Appointment and qualification of administrators. Ito naman po yung administrator is the one that will be appointed by the office of the president also. It will have a rank of an assistant secretary. He or she will be the parang CEO or the chief executive officer or the executive director of the CDA. Siya pong overall in charge in the operation of the Cooperative Development Authority. So he has the same rank as the board of directors.
Attorney, matanong ko lang, itong vacancy sa board sa sinasabi mo kanina, di ba 6 years yung ano niya, one term?
Opo.
Okay.
Yes,
Kunwari may isang board na nag-resign or na ay bakante sa 3 years, so napilapan. Ito ba ang nag-pill up? Pagdating sa taon na isi-serve niya is 3 years lang?
Kapag po may vacancy, yung magsasatwid, yung unfinished term lang po yung kanyang isa-serve.
Yun nga ang punto ko. So ang isi-serve lang niya is unfinished term. Tama ba?
Opo.
So kung matapos niya yung unserved portion, lahat ba benefit sa kanya mapupunta?
Yung benefit po as to yung mga compensation and
Yeah. Oo. Doon
mapupunta po doon sa successor.
Kunwari, yung unserved portion lang niya is 3 years, 2 years, or even 1 year. So pag natapos niya yung isang term, 6 years, so lahat mga compensation mapunta sa kanya kahit 1 year, 2 years, 3 years term lang siya nakaupo?
Opo. Yes,
okay. Yun lang gusto ko ma-verify kasi hindi nabanggit mo kanina.
Yes, sir. Okay. So administrator po is, of course, it must be natural-born citizen, a holder of a bachelor, civil service eligibility, and at least 5 years experience as officer of the cooperative or official or employee in a government office or NGO dealing with cooperatives. Any person appointed as administrator shall upon appointment divest oneself on any direct or indirect pecuniary interest or dealings with the cooperative. This is provided also with the RA 11364. Also with regards to the powers and functions of administrator, provided din po yan ng ating batas 11364. So I don't think kailangan ko bang i-discuss isa-isa. Napag-usapan na po natin to with the previous forums. Okay. So to summarize yung also of course after the administrator magkakaroon po siya ng deputy administrator. With the old law, isa lang ang deputy executive director. With the current law, with the new law, they will have 5 deputy administrators. So the 5 administrator will have key positions in relation to number 1 is general administration and support service. Number 2 would be institutional development. Number 3 would be legal affairs. Number 4, registration, supervision, examination. And number 5, credit surety funds. Then of course, we will have regional offices. Dati extension.
Attorney, sino mag-appoint sa deputy administrator?
The board of directors po ng CDA.
So hindi si administrator?
Hindi po si administrator. As under the law, the appointing authority with regards to deputy administrators will be the board of directors of the CDA.
Kasi pagkaintindi ko niyan, that's the power of the administrator. Yung board of administrator lang is to confirm the appointment. Kasi ako yan sa board of administrator eh. Tapos kung sinong appoint ng board of administrator, i-confirm sa board of directors. Hindi ganon.
It is expressly provided, sir, in the RA 11364.
Okay.
Okay. So, of course, magkakaroon din po tayo ng mga regional offices from Region 1 to Region 12 and the mga special regions like CAR, Mimaropa, and Caraga. As to ARMM, we will be coordinating with BARM with regards to the harmonization of our partnership with the CDA BARM. Okay. For NCR, they will have some field offices for NCR, for district offices. Okay, so the staffing pattern for the CDA would be approved by the DBM and the Civil Service Commission. So we are currently on the process of reorganizing and filling up key positions and yung ating mga placement ng ating mga employees to the new positions to be created under the new law. So on the process na po kami. This is one of the also concern of the sector, yung partnership and complementation of the CDA and the co-op sector. Okay, so it is provided by the law under Section 18, yung partnership with the cooperative sector. It is provided naman very expressly provided within the law that there would be a good partnership between the CDA and the co-op sector. So this is the legal basis. Section 18, Section 4, Section 4B, Section 4A, Section 4BB, 4CC, and 4DD, 4EE, 4II, and F. So there's a lot of legal basis for a partnership between the CDA and the co-op sector. Okay. Section 2 of the IRR under Rule 4, CDA as the lead agency in cooperative development. Okay, the CDA as the lead agency of the government in the promotion and development of the co-op shall synchronize the efforts of their relevant government institutions toward a common goal of empowering the cooperative. So it will be the CDA together with the other government agencies to harmonize and synchronize their effort to have a good, to have a common goal and empowering the cooperative in achieving the growth of our cooperatives. Of course, in consideration of equity, social justice, and economic development. There will be a national coordinating committee. So all government agencies, instrumentalities and subdivisions and agencies and programs will be discussed by the National Coordinating Committee in order with the Cooperative Development Authority to come up with comprehensive technical and financial programs for the cooperative. And through the creation of the National Coordinating Committee, which will be chaired by the authority, the committee shall be all the government agencies that have cooperative programs and activities will be fully represented in the coordinating committee. And of course, the very purpose is to coordinate efforts and programs and projects of these government agencies with the authority to help our cooperative sector. Okay, partnership with the cooperative sector, notwithstanding the principle of a subsidiarity, autonomy and independence, the authority will have a consultation with the cooperative sector. So currently we are coming up with a memorandum circular in how we're going to organize the National Alliance of Cooperatives. So we already have conducted some consultation with regards to the creation, reorganization of the National Alliance of Cooperative. This is in realization to Section 4, partnership with the cooperative sector. And of course, Section 5 is also the partnership with the academe. Which is very important that we, at the early stage of learning by our kids, that we have to inculcate in their minds the concept of cooperative. So it would be very good. It would be a very good partnership by the Cooperative Development Authority and the academe to come up with a good curriculum for our students. We will going to incorporate cooperative in their education, training, and research, so that we will have to come up with a good, new generations of cooperative leaders for our cooperative movement. Okay, and partnership with government agencies. So as I provided before in the previous section, the National Coordinating Committee, it will be composed of government agencies. So it's just a reiteration of the partnership between government agencies. And of course, the local government unit. It's very important, the role of the local government unit. That's why under the law, the DILG has been included as one of the members of the board of directors to really use the mechanism, the local government units as a partner in helping and promoting, organizing, and developing our cooperatives. Currently, we have a lot of very active local government units who are truly our partner in promoting, organizing, and developing our cooperatives in their respective areas. So it is provided in the Republic Act 11364. So there's it is provided here all the undertakings that may be provided by the local government units and the CDA, yung partnership. So it is provided here to formulate local cooperative development plan. No, it's very important that all local government has the cooperative development plan. And I believe there is a pending bill that is mandating all local government unit to have their own cooperative development officers or offices. It will be mandatory And this will be a good help not only to the cooperative with the CDA, but also to the cooperative in the local locality of the local government, because there's a very big role talaga ang local government in the promotion, organization, and development of the cooperatives in their respective area. Okay, so we will the partnership will provide technical guidance and of course financial assistance to the cooperative. Okay, so it is provided naman po yan yung ating mga promotion, organization, and development of the cooperative. That is the overall objective of the partnership between the local government. And of course, partnership with the international cooperative sector. So the ICA is a very good partner of the cooperative movement here in the Philippines. So with the advent of this law and this implementing rules and regulation, we could make a very strong partnership with the ICA in relation to international cooperation and international cooperation and movement with the other international cooperative movement from other countries. So this would be a good partnership that will be created. And of course, partners with the private sector. So there are other partners, not only from the cooperative, there are other NGOs and other academics that are not cooperatives, but they are our partners in organizing, promoting, and developing cooperatives. So with this provision, it will be mandated with to the Cooperative Development Authority to come up with a strong partnership with the private sector. So that would be the two very important provisions of the IRR. Maybe we could ask the sectors to which other provisions of the IRR they want to discuss. Medyo madami po kasi itong ating implementing rules and regulations, so it will take time for us to one by one na i-discuss natin itong implementing rules and regulation.
Attorney, ang masuggest ko lang, dahil sabi mo mahaba yan, bigyan mo na lang kami yung kopya sa committee, no, para at least mayroon kaming kopya, no, tapos to sa secretariat, tapos sa Attorney Mariel,
Sir, I already emailed the responses of Land Bank, BIR, and of the IRR of the CDA.
Yeah, pero yung BIR hindi pa daw napirmahan ni Commissioner Dulay.
Yes, sir. Hindi napirmahan po, pero it was presented kanina na unsigned pa ni Commissioner Dulay po.
Ang ibig kong sabihin, yung signed na.
Yung signed na po. Okay po.
Yung
sige
signed
po.
na. Oo.
Okay po.
Tapos ito, ang sabi na effectivity to sa IRR bukas.
Yes, sir.
Kung nabigay mo na sa amin, so that's fine.
Yes,
so,
sir.
ang tanong ko na lang kung sino ba ang dito ngayon sa Zoom na may mag-verify, may clarify dito sa IRR natin sa CDA.
Sir, may I suggest that since it's already almost 1 o'clock, if we can just call for another meeting with the agenda only of the IRR?
Well, if that is the pleasure of this August body, then that's fine. Pero ang sa akin kasi, pagbibigay ng kopya, din kung may mga tanong, din saka natin i-agenda. Pero we put this IRR into rest na kasi andito naman, effectivity na bukas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, ngayon, ang suggestion ko na lang, pagparni sa kopya, kung magtatanong sila, din i-agenda natin. Kung wala magtatanong, din natin to agenda.
Oh, sige, sir.
That's why I make good use of the time sa on this meeting, mayroon ba magtatanong o mag-clarify? Di kung wala na, din
Mr. Chair,
yes.
Po, napag-usapan po kasi namin to sa sector. One is that would like to ensure that the training standards for cooperative officers and members and partnership with the cooperative sector in formulating policies that may give rise to the recognition of apex organizations be discussed further, Mr. Chair. Kasi
Yung
nung
tanong mo ba is
with the academe,
IRR?
yes, Mr. Chair, nung nag-usap po kami sa academe, would like to put some emphasis on the training standards for cooperative officers. That's one. That's Section 17 of the law. And Section 18 of the law as well, yung partnership po with the cooperative sector, particularly, of course, the first paragraph and the second paragraph. That leads me to the discussion on the recognition of sectoral apex organization and national alliance. I am sure, Mr. Chair, that the time is not enough, but I would like to echo the concerns of the sector based on our consultations that the recognition and organization of sectoral apex and sectoral apex organization and national alliance based on the proposal, sir, shall be at the initiative of the cooperative sector. The programs and results of said consultation shall be submitted to the authority for consideration and integration in the policies, programs, standards, rules, and regulations adopted and implemented by the authority. So that's one issue, sir, that would like to emphasize. Number two, sir, on the recognition as well. Kailangan po yung National Alliance of Cooperatives must have the following track records and qualifications. Of course, that track record and qualifications would be discussed further in that hearing, sir, because based on the law, sir, particularly Section 4, letter Z, there will be a separate implementing rules and regulations that would be issued by the authority. And this is in relation to the recognition of National Alliance. And
So, kung I interrupt you, sir, na yung mga sinasabi mo is within the IRR or wala?
So far, sir, hindi po kasi pinakita rito. Pero I think yung IRR, sir, ng recognition of sectoral apex organization and national alliance, which Attorney Robles mentioned, probably stated in this IRR, should have a separate discussion, Mr. Chair, because as per Sections 4, letter Z, there would be a necessary implementing rules and regulations implementing the recognition of sectoral apex organization and national alliance, Mr. Chair. So I'd like to request for further discussion on that. Kasi Mr. Chair, nabanggit po nga niya kanina na meron na silang proposed memorandum circular. In contrast po dun sa consultation po with the sector, ang lumalabas po, it should be the initiative of the cooperative sector. With due respect po sa CDA, it should be the initiative of the cooperative sector. Mr. Chair, thanks for that.
Thank you. Attorney, any comment for that?
It is what Mr. Edwin is trying to say is that the creation and organization of the National Alliance of Cooperative is to be initiated by the sector, and it is also provided under the law that the CDA will promulgate or draft guidelines as to the organization, the recognition of the National Alliance of the Cooperative. Maybe the cooperative sector have to discuss this with our board of directors so that to come up with a solution on how we're going to harmonize the proposal of the sector and our initiative to come up with the memorandum circular with regards to the National Alliance of Cooperative. So I believe that the sector have to talk with our board of directors about the organization, recognition of the
Yeah,
national.
yun ang kanginang tanong ko na itong mga sinasabi niya, related ba rito sa IRR? Kasi paano naging batas ito bukas kung mayroon pa itong mga topic na yan, nire-raise niya yung para sa apex na
Yes, Your Honor, meron pong provision under the law that there will be a National Alliance of Cooperative that should be organized and should be recognized by the CDA as a consultative body of the cooperative sector with the Cooperative Development Authority.
So, yung topic na ba yan, saan mo dito dadalhin sa committee or sa internal lang ninyo sa Cooperative Development Authority? Sige.
I believe sa amin po, because the law provided that we will come up with guidelines as to the organization, as to the recognition of the National Alliance of Cooperative.
So yun ang ibig kong sabihin kanina na kasi sabi mo mahaba itong IRR na pag-uusapan natin at saka itong bukas maging batas na. So that's why I am clarifying na yung iba dyan na gusto ba magtatanong with regards to the IIR. Pero kung internal matters nyo na, hindi na natin dito di-discuss pa sa IRR.
Kong Chair?
Yes?
Yes. We would have still had some issues that we wanted to raise relating to the IRR. Just to give an example, this thing about the National Alliance and the sectoral apexes being recognized. If I may put some emphasis, being merely recognized by the Cooperative Development Authority. We had wanted to seek further clarification on that. Just to cite a case in point, if the National Alliance and the different sectoral apexes were to be merely recognized by the Cooperative Development Authority instead of assuming a juridical personality, what happens then in terms of accountability? Like in terms of funding, how would we go about accounting for funds, for any funds received by any of the apexes, and especially so by the National Alliance? But as you said, it's practically printed already, and it's about to be issued out tomorrow. But we'd like to think that we can still discuss such issues when we go about discussing the guidelines relating to the envisioned organization by CDA. There's this other issue about regional sectoral apexes, which is actually not contained in the law. If we were to be very strict about it, I personally haven't seen any portion of the law that says that the regional apexes is part of the intent of the law, but it's already part of the IRR. But as you said, it seems like we can't do anything about it at the IRR level, which is why we would want to push that we be given the chance to discuss further before CDA issues out the guidelines.
Yeah, I understand now. I understand now. But I think this issue, we are run out of time, as I understand.
Yes.
And in fact, our secretariat suggested that we will be re-agenda on this by having unfinished business of the IRR discussion. Is that right, Attorney Mariel?
Yes, sir. Because I think with the effectivity of the IRR tomorrow, sir, then it doesn't mean naman, sir, that there can be no further discussions because the issues raised by Sir Gary here was has to be attended to. But in the IRR before it was recommitted, the co-op sector was called upon to comment on the IRR. So that's why I'm just wondering why they have further questions when they were already involved in the reassessment. I don't know if that's the right word, sir. So it's like I do not understand anymore, sir. So maybe we can, as I'm humbly suggesting, sir, that maybe we could have another meeting, and before that meeting, maybe Sir Gary can discuss with CDA again, because we cannot just stop the effectivity of the IRR tomorrow, because this is the second, sir.
That's my point, that we have nothing to do the effectivity of
Yes,
the
sir.
IRR. So let's the IRR want to take effect, then later on kung anong babaguhin natin, then let's proceed again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yan ang sabi ko kanina na baka naman kay Sir Gary ang sinasabi niya yung internal na lang doon sa CDA. Oo, pero kung kailangan natin sa committee para mabigyan lahat ng opportunity kung anong dapat, kasi tayo man ang oversight, din gagawin din natin. But we will never run, no? We will never leave you guys. We are here to settle down everything.
Yes, sir.
So yun lang. So Sir Gary, again, your concern, no? Ituloy natin yan sa committee. That's why kanina ulit nasabi ko, is that related to the IAR? Isabi mo related, paano na effectivity nito bukas? But let's move on. Then sabi naman natin kanina, i-discuss natin to. So under sa agenda sa unfinished, lagyan na lang natin ito ng unfinished business, kasi pag agenda kasi, akala nila hindi pa tayo tapos. Kung ibig sabihin, i-discuss na natin ito na carry forward lang kasi hindi natapos pa.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yes, sir. I will submit to your proposal that we will tag this as unfinished business.
Yes, unfinished business.
Yes, sir.
So may agenda pa ba tayo, Attorney?
No, we have no other item in the agenda already, sir. So I don't know.
Kinatop ko na lang yung IRR mo kasi ang dating sa atin yan, informative na lang ito, ginawa na natin itong trabaho, or for records purposes na lang ito. So in fact, maging effective na yan bukas. So yun lang, bigyan mo lang tayo ng, nabanggit ko naman ganun ang kopya.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wala na bang ibang magtatanong? Other matters? Wala na, so any motion to adjourn?
Sir, Congressman Guya is still around, sir.
Partner Kong Guya. Uy, by the way, si Kong Guya, member is sa Joint Committee on Cooperative Development. Parang siyang GC.
Joint Congressional Oversight Committee on Cooperatives po.
Ayun, yeah, I stand corrected. Partner! Siya na lang ang motion to, hindi, records, nandyan pa man siya.
Yes,
so,
sir.
siya na lang ang motion to adjourn.
Yes, sir. Pero I think naka-freeze si Kong Guya. So sir, let's proceed na lang po, sir.
Yeah, so may agenda po ba?
Wala na po, sir.
So for records purposes, no? After motion has been heard and seconded, so meeting now is adjourned. And thank you all you guys of your time and effort. I value that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Kong.
Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman Evcas.
Thank you.
Thank you sa Committee on Cooperatives Development.
Thank you, Attorney Mariel.
Kong Ben.
Thank you, Sir Gary.
Attorney Mariel.
Yes, Sir Edwin. Tinatawagan kita.
Tinawagan mo ba ako? Titingnan ko yung tawag mo.
Maraming salamat, sir, for stepping in kay Kong Kanama.
Oo nga, kay Kong Evcas. Yes.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Tawag doon.